What was it? Do you remember that thing that Lorenzo always said to Calogero?
Something about wasting talent?
Yeah, saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Good thing we don't have to worry about that here, right? That's right, folks. Welcome everybody once more to another episode of Cinema Forecast, the movie podcast where every month we are randomly assigned by the legally distinct movie roulette a series of movies that we feel fit a certain category. And each week we go in depth into one of those movies in the context of the category.
That's right, Alfredo.
And as always, I am here with the incomparable Connor.
That's me, incomparable as always.
Tell him what what today's month's category is.
We're doing Mobsters.
We're doing mobster movies, and we did The Godfather, the first Godfather.
That's right, masterpiece.
Did Miller's Crossing last week.
Amazing movie.
Very fun with the guy Raul. And today we are doing A Bronx Tale.
Yeah, also an amazing movie, I would say right at the top.
Yeah, super cool sort of take on like the whole mobster thing too. I think it's fun getting this feels like a very different sort of mobster story. Like we're seeing a lot of like depth. Maybe not depth, but within the sort of genre, right?
Yeah, a lot of heart in this one, and I thought the title was very fitting. Like some way through, I was like, man, what is it about this script? Like it almost feels like a fairy tale, and I'm like, oh yeah, A Bronx Tale. Like I think that's kind of intentional.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is as well. So the guy who plays Sonny, Chaz Palminteri, his real name is Calogero Lorenzo Palminteri.
Oh, wow.
And he wrote an autobiographical one-man play. And the people wanted to buy it, like to option it for like movies, but he refused to sell it unless he could play the role of Sonny. And none of the studios agreed. But then Robert De Niro offered to go in 50-50 partnership with him on it.
Whoa!
And he met all of Palminteri's conditions, and then he said, "I want to direct and I want to play Lorenzo."
That's amazing.
And this is his directorial debut.
Yeah.
Dedicated so appropriately to his father, who it seems passed shortly before the movie came out, as is said at the very end. So there is so much heart. This is, I think, the most heart out of all of them so far, and you can tell because there are points where the heart maybe gets a little too sweet, a little saccharine, sweet, but
Yeah, a little cheesy at times, but it never took me out of it too much. I was pretty locked in.
No, it's really cool take. Speaking of takes, speaking of themes, let's do the themes.
Yeah, well, we should also say that this is one of the few that neither of us have seen before, which is pretty rare on this podcast.
Yep, doesn't always happen.
Yeah, kind of fun to both go in blind.
Yeah, for sure.
6 themes. I think all of these, looking over them again, fit pretty well here. Corruption of the soul. I think that's a big, that's kind of the theme of don't let yourself get lost in this. Family, a lot of that. I mean, it's pretty much all about family. Paranoia, maybe less so. What's interesting is that I feel like maybe it's Lorenzo, the father's character, who is probably the most paranoid about what's going on, but reasonably so. And power, pride and respect, lots of that, and a moral code. And I Sonny was such a fun surprise for me in slowly learning what this dude was all about and his moral code and where he sits. And I still don't think I totally have him nailed down, and I think that's part of what makes him a really
pretty realistic person.
Yeah.
I think he feels like the most down to earth sort of quote unquote gangster that we've seen so
right.
far. Like the most likely person that you would in your life actually meet.
Right.
Who would be involved in organized crime of some sort.
Right. Something like Vito from Godfather is much really larger than life. It feels grand. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that this comes from a stage play, from a one-man play, because Godfather definitely has the more elevated sort of drama to it, I feel like.
Absolutely. And so you said that this is autobiographical, because that's extremely fascinating.
Yeah, Sonny. The guy who plays Sonny is, I think it's somewhat, according to the internet, to IMDb's trivia section. And I had read that before too. I think it's cool because you're watching two of the major creative forces behind the film in front of the camera, which is it's something that you don't get to see very
Super
much.
fun. And I was so like, Robert De Niro is so sure, like, oh, he's gonna be a gangster in this, and then he's not a gangster at the beginning. I'm like, okay, so he's gonna go into the gangster, and it's like, nope, just a loving father doing his best, just a hardworking man.
Oh, that's funny that you thought that. I was like, oh, okay, he's like the father. He's the like guy who's on like Straight and Narrow. And I thought it was cool to see him in that role because I mean I think he's like super delivers in that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Highlight for sure. Yeah, should we just get into it?
Yeah, again to reiterate, very cool. Robert De Niro directs. We've got Chaz Palminteri that wrote this as a one-man play and then adapted it for the screen.
Do you know if it's through C's perspective or through Sonny's perspective that it's autobiographical? Was this him growing up in the Bronx?
I just said, his first name is Calogero.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, of
So
course.
yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to write an autobiographical thing, but not make them the like point of view character.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I just want to shout out the director of photography. I think very sort of like efficient like film in this, and I think it adds to the sort of nature of the story. Reynaldo Villalobos.
I found it very immersive, the cinematography.
Yeah, I think this is I'm gonna say right off the rip here, but yeah, again, DP Reynaldo Villalobos. I think this is the most like takes you back to what the like core of the origin of these sort of groups is the whole neighborhood thing. It's so much about the neighborhood, and I love talking about like geography and like how everything is laid out in a movie. This movie is like so about that. It's so about the block. It's so about 187th Street.
Yeah.
It's about the Bronx, and I think they do such a good job with like just like the like shot diet and like the sort of like composition of like really making you feel like you're saying like sort of immersed in that like neighborhood.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the way it starts is like the zoom in, like here's the church, here's the like the Yankee Stadium,
Well,
here's
even
my
before
street.
that, it starts with the huge shot
Yeah,
of like New York, right? And that's like the widest shot you'll get, and it'll never get back to like that level again. But yeah, and again, VO, which we've seen in the past, coming back to bat, come back to play.
I think like perfect use of it for that kind of fairy tale
it's
like
the
thing
genre
I was talking about.
It's a coming of age tale, and I feel like those feel appropriate with a little VO because it's always supposed to impart the idea of hindsight and reflection. And I think like that's a cool tool to use in these sorts of stories to get you in the mindset of like, I'm looking back on this.
Yeah.
Versus like a movie that you're supposed to experience as like, I am like viscerally in this moment by moment.
Right.
And I don't think that detracts. I think just different stories. Like you want it to feel like Chaz Palminteri is like almost like sitting next to you, like telling you about his life, right? And it feels like that. I think that that's successful with the VO here.
Totally. Yeah, it starts with like the black credits, and you can kind of hear them talking a bit. Like I think you hear like, all right, you got the note and stuff. And
yeah, they're starting their doo-wop song.
Yes, I love all the doo-wop throughout this. It's such a fun little like, I think it's kind of showing because like there's a lot of like race conversations in this movie.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed that really stood out is like these really like racist kids later who are like going to go attack black people. They're listening to Jimi Hendrix while they do it.
For sure, absolutely.
And so like I think the doo-wop is kind of that thread through it. It's like it's all the same community, man.
Yeah, I really love, I think, in this movie that I think just from the story generally that I love that they tackle like race relations, because it's just been brought up casually in these other movies, you know, like where they've used like slurs, and I mean we have like, you know, the use of the N-word in The Godfather, and then in this movie initially I was like, oh, is this gonna be like a little like, oh yep, racism? But no, it's like a very integral piece to the story. And like when I realized that he was like falling in love with a black girl, I was like, this is awesome. This is really, really cool, and like has a lot of like perspective to it.
Right.
A lot of like the amount of depth to this story is like surprising sometimes, because I think it sets itself up to not be something that is going to be overly deep, right? But then it has these really awesome moments of like depth. And I think that's a really cool thing to do tone-wise, where like, you know, sort of like what you're trying to say, and you set it up to be like, set the stage for it to be that level of depth, but kind of surprise your audience every once in a while with just like Let me give you just like a little like. I mean, it's easy to do that with fucking like Robert De Niro playing the kid's fucking dad. You know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, when I first heard that hard R, I was like, whoa, I don't know if you could do that nowadays, but like the way it like it threads through the whole movie, and that's kind of a big part of what the movie's about,
Yeah.
So.
Fordham section of the Bronx is what he says. That's where he lives he lives in 667 East 187th Street. Points out his stoop.
Yeah.
That we have the little, comedic thing about like you could hear the sound of Italian men romancing like girls,
and you get the couple making out, and then it's like some dude trying to convince her to get in his car. Get in the fucking car.
Yeah. Very, very funny. And we get introduced to Sonny. He's the number one man in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he says something about how he would stare at him all the time.
Yeah.
And he would, and he never looked back until one day.
Yeah, that's a great hook. That's a great like just intro to your script.
Because then we get the little montage of like the Bronx summer living. We get the stickball.
I love this.
They're like collecting money for bets. I don't fucking know what they're doing. They're like, you got fruit, you got seafood. It's just the bustling community. And I love that like we've been talking in these movies about how important your first scene is, your first sort of shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I love about this is that, well, first of all, it's a love story, right? That is sort of at the heart of this.
Yeah.
And then it's also a story about like a neighborhood.
Yeah. And a father and a son, and
yeah, for sure. And all of that, like a very like a familial sort of thing, like like a community, right?
Yeah.
And different communities and how they interact. And I think what's dope is that you contrast it to like Godfather, which is so much about like power and like and offers and business.
Yeah.
And then you contrast it to Miller's Crossing, which is about ethics and friendship. Like they really are like sort of like theme stated moments. And I think for me it was like this is like a story about like the Bronx as a community.
Yeah, totally. There's some moments I really loved in this whole sequence. They do it twice with the doo-wop, where like the song goes like wop 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 wop, and like the first time it's every time he's hitting the ball that it just keeps cutting to, and then again when they're jumping on each other. I was like, that's so fun. That's such a great integration of the music and like just summer vibes.
Yeah, it's great. It was really funny that they were like elder teens playing leapfrog, elder teen men.
Yeah.
Basically men like playing leapfrog with each other.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I guess there wasn't any internet back then.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Yeah, and we see Lorenzo driving the bus, and
the kids are jumping on the back.
Yes, and he keeps like stopping to yell at them, and then they jump on again, and he speeds off. Very fun.
He has a great little moment, like his little smile, or like it's just like it's Bobby. There's fucking Bobby, dude. Fucking love him.
Yeah, I found him just like such an interesting character for how it just felt like he was always kind like, I don't know, there was this tension built into his character, I felt, and maybe that was just me trying to like forecast what was going to happen, but the threat of him just trying to do his job, and then you got the mafia on the street corner. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna clash in a bad way. And I was really like pleasantly surprised that it never did. Like it does clash, but in a more complex, nuanced way.
These are like real people. Like he the moment he realizes that he's out of his wits when he like approaches Sonny, that's what I love, how it feels so real. Like I think the mob in the other two movies is such like a like all like, well, in fucking Godfather it feels like this almost like this crazy mythic sort of like this like establishment, right? And then in Miller's Crossing it is sort of this backdrop to this story about like loyalty. In this movie, I think again, what's so fucking compelling about it is that it's really getting to the roots of what these groups are about, is like community, and like we see these two different paths and like ways that people choose to like support their community.
Yeah, I think there's also scale to it just based on like these different mobsters' positions.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's like The Godfather feels like royalty, where Miller's Crossing might be more like businesses, like CEOs competing, and then this almost feels like, a shop. Like they have their one spot.
Yeah, for sure. Like a family-run like joint, like a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
I think that's really, it's well done with the whole bar, But we get the kid. I think we see that he says, there I am. 9 years old. He's wearing that Yankees hat, unfortunately. He says his name, Calogero. Then you see, like, points out his mom, Rosina.
I love how many times this comes back with her like, all right, go inside, and her like calling from like, the
Yeah.
third story window.
And his dad saying, you go right on up,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
as soon as you get inside.
Yeah.
But young Calogero goes downstairs and through some back doors, and we see that he peeks into the bar, and we see that even at 9 years old, he has this interest in, like, Shea Bippy, that's the name of
Yeah.
the bar, and the people who hang out here. We have Tony, and this is just so much fun right here. Tony Toupee. He's the owner in name only, a singer who everybody hates the sound of his voice, so he only sings. We get told, it's really Sonny's bar.
Yeah.
We get Eddie Mush, which is a great name.
This is such a fun introduction of all these characters. One quick thing I want to point out is when he's walking up to the bar, I noticed there's like a crooner song, and he says something
It's literally the Frank Sinatra.
Oh, it's a
singing.
Frank Sinatra?
Yeah.
He says #1 on the all-time loser chart as he's like going in there, and that felt like, a lot of foreshadowing of what they're trying to say about the, like, he's climbing up, but he's climbing towards something that's extremely like bad and dangerous,
Nice. Yeah. No, that's a good call. Some of the other names we got Jojo the Whale. When you don't walk with him, you walk amongst him. Frankie Coffee Cake, very good. Jimmy Whispers, Danny K.O., Bobby Bars, and all the things that he says. Danny K.O. liked to knock people out. Bobby Bars spent half his life behind them.
Yeah. I love Eddie Mush. Like, he's such a bad like gambler. Like, his luck is so bad that
everything around him. Yeah.
The teller rips up his tickets right when he gets them.
He's like King Midas, but everything turns to shit.
Yeah, funny bit throughout the movie.
So they couldn't find like a good actor to play Eddie Mush. So he says, "Yo, Chaz, like, do you think we could find the real Eddie Mush to play himself?" And they found Eddie Montanaro, the guy who plays Eddie Mush, in the same neighborhood, still losing bets.
No fucking way, bro.
Yeah, and they cast him, and they were like, "Oh shit, is he gonna jinx the movie?" On the first day of filming, according to IMDb trivia, it rained.
Oh my god.
Pretty good.
That's amazing.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, I like the line on Jojo the Whale that his shadow once killed a dog. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, we got Jimmy Whispers. I feel like
that's Sonny's main man right there.
Yeah, Sonny's main man. I'm like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to remember all these characters throughout the movie, and like, of course, some of them stood out to me. I got Jojo, I got Mush, I got coffee cake. But I don't remember how often Whispers comes up throughout the movie.
He is next to Jimmy.
Just all the
he's
time.
Next to Sonny for most of the movie. He's the one who goes on the bus to offer Lorenzo the job.
Is he the one who's like, should I take him out when they're talking about Lorenzo?
Later. No, that's another guy. That's the
Okay.
guy who comes up and tells them that they can come down and sit with him like during the fight. Yeah, but pretty good stuff. We see Rosina finds him, grabs him, and then we also hear something about like how Colagero loved like imitating Sonny.
Yeah.
And we see the thing with the 3 fingers, like, he had 5 fingers, but he
Yes.
only ever used 3.
That's a great line.
And
he also, like, earlier, he said, like, Sonny was a god. Like, this is more than just, like, he sees him as more than just a, a cool guy. He's like, no, this is, like, the guy.
number 1 man in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Number 1 man in the neighborhood for sure. The part later on with the priest is really good.
Yes, I was thinking about it.
Where
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh man, your guy's up most powerful up there. My guy's more powerful down here."
I love how the priest is like,
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's aware of the community that he lives in,
Yeah.
and he's preaching to that, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think that's an excellent choice on his behalf.
Yeah. No, good scene.
They're at dinner. He says he's not in the mood for steak.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting.
I'm not a big steak guy. I know everyone's supposed to love steak, but
Mm.
I'm like, whatever. But I feel like it is very interesting. Lorenzo even says, "You know how many like times I have to drive that route to like be able to afford steak once a week?" Kid's such a smartass. He says 7. Very charming kid.
Absolutely.
For the younger Frank Capra, I think is the name of this actor.
Nails it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think very wild life as like a kid actor. I think his dad was involved in like, I don't know. I think his dad died in like a shooting or something.
shit.
Like, yeah, pretty wild life. Also, like the other guy, Lilo Brancato, who plays older Calogero, sorry, addicted to heroin and cocaine in his like early 20s, like struggled a lot that had like real like fucking child star like typical
Yeah.
like shit. But also apparently they found him because he was known for impersonating Robert De Niro.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
funny because I did kind of see like a bit of the
Oh, I
resemblance.
did for sure. I
Yeah.
did for sure. Interestingly, he was born in Colombia and was adopted by Italian American parents in the U.S. and then raised in like Yonkers in New York.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, this was probably like hitting home for him to an extent. I mean, it takes place in the 60s. This movie did come out in 1993, which is my birth year.
Yeah, 1993. Yes.
Yeah, and then you get very quickly this father-son relationship of the mom trying to be more strict and the dad's like, just kind of winking at him but like waving his finger a little bit. Their relationship is so sweet, and the way it kind of like deteriorates through like his teenage years, I thought was so well done, so nuanced, because it's not like he does do the classic teenage stuff, but there is always this warmth he has in his heart for his father.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was realistic as well, because the very like cheesy, shitty like coming of age teen movie with the like parental relationship, like, oh, you want to go down there sit with them? He would have gone or some shit, right? Like, or there's just these other moments, but it's like he really doesn't want to disappoint his dad,
Yeah.
Like he does say those things, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding,"
I mean, multiple times he apologizes for hurting his feelings.
I love it. I think it's
that's
so
something
great.
you don't see very often.
And I
appreciate it.
love treating a father figure as like, dude, like your dad's a human. Like he isn't just like a monolith of discipline or of like or someone that you need to just like blindly adore, kind of like in The Godfather. He's this like this nuanced person with his own emotional state.
Yeah.
And I love Robert De Niro like playing like this dude who's like, sure, he's kind of like tough. He's very traditional, but he's still like, how do you think that makes me feel?
Yeah.
Like that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I love the twist that he's extremely relatable. He's pretty much a stand-up guy in every way except he's kind of racist.
No, I love that's a great point later on where it's like you see Sonny kind of has the moral high ground on him in this,
Yeah.
like where it's like his dad is like, I just think we should marry within our own, you know?
And he's like, well, what if I did a black
You wouldn't
girl?
do that?
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. Yeah.
But spoilers.
Yeah. No, the way they twisted my feelings about Sonny and Lorenzo throughout the movie, I thought was really well.
No,
really
it was
well
good.
done.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're people. There's nuance to the story, and it's like such. I mean, they feel like it's easy to be like there's such simple choices, but really it's just born of like this is his story, man.
Yeah.
And it was a very compelling story.
Yeah.
I have seen Chaz Palminteri like in so many different like movies and like different like roles, and always sort of portraying this sort of like like this type of like mafioso sort of like vibe. And I think it like I always liked his performances, but watching this movie like has made me so curious about him. Like he seems like very interesting dude. Like would love to like read more about him, or even I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to look up like how close this is to his actual childhood and all that. Yeah, it's super interesting. His dad has 2 tickets to the Yankee Stadium, another like thread throughout the movie, them going to games together. We get in the next scene Phil the peddler. This back and forth is super funny.
He's also talking about Mickey Mantle. He loves Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Number 7. He's got the tickets right behind number 7 in the center field,
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. And like the adoration that he has and the way that it's used in the movie, because it's later supplanted by Sonny, right?
Yep. Yeah, we meet Slick, who's called that because his hair is always slicked back, and Crazy Mario because he's crazy.
All the names are so good, dude.
Yeah,
I love all the different names.
Yeah, me too. The back and forth with Phil is super funny, where they're just like giving him so much shit. Like, also felt very realistic and like something kids would do to some poor guy trying to sell stuff.
His dad was literally a bus driver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta look into that. Super interesting. We see Coffee Cake and Shoot Out. The kids kind of like copy them, and yeah, there is this tragic element to it, right? Where like you see where all these paths are going down, and luckily, Caligaro is able to get out of it, but like it's all set up here, right? Like, as good of as much as I like Sonny by the end, like their influence is extremely toxic on this community.
Yeah, for sure. It is like, it's always so interesting to see like pieces of shit as children, like, and like being like careful to walk the line of like I want to write this as like a child, but I also like, and I mean again, it's a lot easier when it's just like based on your life, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we have I think we have the like bus driving by
Oh yeah, this is the scene
in
where
this scene,
they
and
drop the hard R's.
and it's kind of like mirrored throughout with a lot of like the different like sort of like cars like driving past and like people like exchanging like these stares
Yeah.
of like you don't belong here.
Right.
And yeah, the kid just fucking flipping them off, them like calling him like the N-word, throwing the stick ball back, and then they like run after him. And this is the moment where you have what's so interesting about this is like all of these like choices, right? It's like Lorenzo, I think is it Lorenzo? I think yeah, who sticks his head out and just motions at Calogero and like just like get back on the fucking stoop.
Yep.
Like and like he runs back, and that's what puts him in the situation to witness this whole altercation.
Yeah.
So supposedly this is supposedly true.
Wow.
That when he was 9 years old, he witnessed the murder of a mobster in front of his apartment building, and when the police questioned him, but he like said that he didn't see anything when he
Right.
was like a kid.
Right. Yeah, which I think is such a powerful question to pose to you, the audience, right? Like, I feel like the smart choice is definitely not pointing the finger, but also it's
No,
like,
absolutely not.
well, I mean, his father puts it the best, right? He says something, yeah, you did a good thing for a bad man.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what essentially goes down is we see this altercation. It seems like it's over a parking spot, but it's not. Joe Pesci comes into the movie to let us know that it's not about a parking spot. And Sonny comes out and fucking blows this guy's fucking brains out.
Yeah, he
like
does.
in front of everyone. Then everyone sort of like rushes away. Lorenzo, I think, comes out, immediately snatches him
Yeah,
back
and
inside.
the eye contact between Sonny and C
Yeah.
is so intense.
Yeah, no, like he sees and that he said,
He never looked at him
Yeah.
until that moment.
that's the first time he looked at him, and he went deaf, right? Like he's
Yeah.
like having almost this like religious experience, I guess.
God's
or,
looking at him.
yeah, I don't know, but yeah. And then the cops immediately come knocking on the door. These two detectives, they want to talk to Calogero to see like who did it, right? They have him come out. There's the whole lineup, and it's so great having Sonny at the very end, the drama of it going one by one.
Mhm.
And there's a part of you that's like, oh, is he gonna point the finger at somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And then just saying, nope, none of those guys.
What's interesting is that his father, Lorenzo's saying he didn't see anything. And then it's C who's like, I saw everything. So it's
Yeah.
almost like he wanted to. And then when he was looking him in the eyes, he's like, nah, I can't do it.
Yeah, or like he's
He also
just
looks
like,
to his father.
yeah, he's
gauging
like
his
what
reaction.
feels right is to say that I did see it. And then yeah, that moment with Sonny where he looks at Sonny, then he looks at his dad, and I think he like can see how nervous his father is, and he's like, I can't say yes to this one. So he says no. And yeah, then we have the whole exchange like, and it's so funny, he's so excited. He's like, I did something good, right,
I didn't
Dad?
rat.
I didn't
I'm not
rat.
a rat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, and he's like, yeah, no, you did a good thing for a bad man, and like in life you're gonna have to do. What's he say? He says, oh yeah, because he also says we fooled him, right? Yeah, but he does say like in life you sometimes you're gonna have to do bad things, like just like for good reasons, you know?
Right. Yeah. And I love that his father has a very like hard line for criminality, but he also like knows.
He knows where he lives. He knows
Yeah,
what,
he
like,
knows what he needs to do. Yeah.
That's what's great about him as a character
Yeah.
is like he is supposed to be like this sort of like white tower of morality, but he just has such like a realistic view. Like he understands where they live, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess it's out in the next scene we have like Calogero looking out the window
Yeah.
and saying the rat is the lowest thing you can be in the neighborhood, and Lorenzo comes in and he asks him, why'd you say I did a good thing for a bad man? And this is the thing I was trying to think of. He says sometimes there's things you got to do even though they're not right.
Right.
Things you
Yeah.
have to do even though they're not right. Very cool. Like very like a lot of like depth and like commentary on like ethics
Mm-hmm.
without being overly like verbose, right?
Yeah, well, I think it paints a lot of things in an interesting picture where, like, it's quick. People are really quick to judge people who, like, cover up for criminals and stuff. And it's like, this is just a very real world example of, like, why that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it Yeah, again, it feels so grounded. I love that about this
Yeah,
story.
absolutely. But it also like the dialogue, like it feels like a very grounded story, but elevated by like the style of it
Yeah,
and the way things are said.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I think the style all services that like that realism in a way, but it's like it's entertaining and it
Yeah.
knows that it needs to be entertaining.
Well, like I was saying, I was getting kind of like fairy tale vibes to it, just like the way, like the romance of it. And maybe part of that is just like seeing it through his eyes and stuff, but like the way he talked about all these people and everything, it just felt like, yeah, fairy tale.
Well, I mean, it is like it is so much about morality, but I think if like it's fairy tale, but usually fairy tales, these things are so black and white,
Yeah.
and I love how this is living in the gray of it all,
Totally.
And I mean, even at the end, fucking Lorenzo saying, "I never hated you."
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful moment,
Yeah.
and like sort of accepting that this guy had a role in making my son who he is.
Yep.
He was a father to him as well in some ways.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, really, really cathartic ending. I think the next scene is they're going to City Island.
It feels like a vacation.
Yeah, and they're listening to jazz and baseball, and this really made my heart achy later because he's like he's talking about how much he loves the jazz and the baseball, and then we get like the mirror version of this when he's older, and it's like, God, that music's giving me a headache. Like I don't really want to go to the game, like all that. It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah, and this is the first time we have the saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Yep.
And I think he even says at one point, Calogero says, "My father would say that a lot to me throughout my life."
Yeah, and he asks, "Do I have talent, Dad?" So it's like,
yeah, he told him he can do anything he wants. Like
Yeah.
he says, "Can I be a baseball player?" He's like, "Yeah, do whatever you want."
yeah, he has a good line. When you do right, good things happen.
Yeah, I also like the line, you know why Joe D was so great? Because he was Italian. And I just thought that was like, well, that was part of it, but it's because he had talent.
Yeah.
They're listening to the game on their drive back. I love the little bit of every time they go by the church, they make the sign of the cross, and it's cute like watching him like sort of like imitate his dad. We also, I think they're gonna like turn down a street, and Sonny's playing like stickball, so he ends up just going straight like and avoiding driving down that street because it seems like it's kind of like, oh yeah, I mean he's not gonna let me by.
I think Sonny like gives a nod to him, and Lorenzo nods back. And then he kind of like, again, all the stares, all the nods, like there's this kind of creeping tension, and it's almost like a red herring of tension, but not really, like because the stakes are there.
No, there is real tension there,
Yeah,
and that's what makes the story and all of the relationships so compelling.
Totally.
I love that Calogero hits the little stop thing, even though his dad knows exactly where to drop him off.
Yeah.
This is very cute, like he's following the rules. Like I
Yeah.
thought it was a really good little like just a little moment to include there. And he tells him again, get right upstairs, watch the rest of the game. And that's where we have Jimmy whispers, get on the bus. And Sonny is really grateful to him. He says, your kid, you got a good kid. We want to do a little something for you. Why don't you work for us? Just run some numbers, $150 a week. You just have to like take this paper and just drop it off there.
Numbers, they call it. Is that just the bets, like, or the?
Yeah, I think it's collecting bets.
Okay. Gotcha.
And Lorenzo, of course, he says, I can't, I'm a city employee. Like if they found out I was doing that.
Yeah,
no
I can't
good.
do it. And then he's like, well, Sonny's going to be disappointed to hear you said that.
Yeah.
And
then we have him talking to Rosina about it, his wife. And I like that she is very practical with like the financial sense. She's like, $150 a week. I mean, we could use that,
Yeah, she's super interested. We don't really get much of her. Like, is she in the
I don't
movie
think
at
she's-
all when he's a teenager?
I don't think she is. I think she's not in the movie at all.
That's
Yeah.
so weird.
It is very weird. A very interesting choice.
Because yeah, I do find her like a very interesting character in that she is again very realistic and grounded. And you see her getting tempted by the things that Sonny can offer and stuff. But she's also a mother and afraid for her son and like all this and her husband. So like, yeah, kind of weird that she just kind of drops out of the story.
Yeah, I like her too. I think she's funny. I've seen her. I've seen her in a movie recently. I can't remember when, but I thought she was great. I also just love like just the whole vibe of her. Her name is Catherine Narducci, but she's I don't know. She was funny, but also like realistic, and I just love the way they're talking. And
added an interesting wrinkle to Lorenzo morality.
Yeah. And she said, and like he says something about like you're not upset that you married a bus driver. Now she's like, I fell in love with you because
Yeah.
of your uniform. It was so cute.
Yeah, and earlier he said they met at a dance and fell in
Yeah.
love. So there's this sense of like true love between them that I really like.
Very cute. But yeah, interesting that she's not. I was literally watching the movie and I'm like, because there's a part where he goes home, right? And he talks to his dad and he's like upset and kind of like leaves and you don't see his mom there at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
She also says at one point, I'm going to go check on the baby. And I was like, does she mean like Calogero or does Calogero have a younger sibling? And then again, does not come up at all, you know?
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if there's some like on set reason for that, like if she got sick or something or got in an accident.
Or just like editing wise, you know, when they were like looking at like the story. I mean, look, she's great, but like the heart of it is about like a father and a son, right? Like, and
kind of two fathers and a son in a way.
no, absolutely. Absolutely two fathers and a son. Ooh. Chaz and Bobby? Okay. What are y'all doing after this? Rule 43, a Bronx Tale, two dads.
That's right. Day of a funeral.
Calogero felt real bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants God's forgiveness.
Yep.
Then we get a fun scene at the confession booth.
So good.
Where he tells him he does the whole thing, and the kid is good. Like that the actor, like
the
he's
comedic
funny.
delivery and everything.
He's got good timing and everything, and I love it.
He's like, I ate meat on, he's like, I witnessed a murder. I ate meat on Friday. He's like, what was that last
again?
one?
Yeah.
He's like, I ate meat on Friday. He's like, nope, the one before that. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really done well, and the way that again we mentioned earlier, where he's like, hey man, like you get this right, like this is a powerful person in the neighborhood, and priest immediately gets it, and I love that they show the kid leaving, like running off, right? Oh, and he says for a murder rap, you know, like trying
only
to like
5 penance for a murder.
Yeah, yeah, and I love the way he runs off and he's like, I love being Catholic. You know, you just go to confession and everything's okay. And I was like, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah, for real. And then I think we see a mobster. I don't know which one pulls C to talk to Sonny.
Yeah, he's working on his bike, and then I'm not sure. I don't think it was Jimmy Whispers. I think it's some third guy. But yeah, they bring him in, and then we get the whole thing about like, you know, hey, what's your name? He's like Calogero, and he's like, oh man, that's a mouthful. You don't have like a nickname or something?
Yeah.
And I love the way he goes, no.
Yeah.
That's what everybody calls me.
And he's like, what do your friends call you? Calogero. He's like, all right, makes sense. But he asks him, are you afraid of me? And he says, no. And then he's like, well, what do you look so glum about? And he's like, talking about the Yankees, and he's like, they say the Mix was crying.
Yeah, he said he made the Mick cry. Yeah, talking about Mickey Mantle. Says he hates some like player, but he also points out to him, he's like, you must be upset that the Yankees lost, and he tells him, yeah, you know, they made the Mick cry. And he's like, Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And if your dad needed money for his rent, he wouldn't care, right?
Yeah. And this changes his life.
It kind of like really changes, like the way that like he feels about like this guy. I think he realized like this is such a more tangible like figure. What am I thinking of? Like, you know, someone to look up to. Like, it's a much role model. This is a much more tangible role model than some guy who makes $100,000 and I've never met in my life, right?
Totally.
And he asked him, like, you know, did you shoot that man over a parking space? And the guy, and he says, look, you'll understand when you're older. There's a lot of that too during this part, and I kind of love that. Then it plays these two halves where like you have him as a 9-year-old being told a lot, like, you'll understand when you're older. You'll understand when you're older, and then like him like kind of like learning all these things later on and starting to see like the nuances of like morality, right? And what's right, what's wrong, and like what people value.
Totally. And I was totally waiting for the like, you know, the classic like Goodfellas, like, or The Departed, like from here on out, like he was his guy, and then like, you know, it was going to be kind of a tragic story of him getting into the like over his head in the mafia and stuff. And yeah, again, I'm so glad that it was like
it's
such
awesome.
a reserved story. Yeah.
It's so like real, you know? Like it's really beautiful. Like it's actually like really touching that I think it's that thing that you sort of talked about with like what the disconnect is for some of these movies is that like these guys are bad guys, like, and I mean, as fun as it is to be in that sort of like, these rooms of powerful people trying to snatch power from one another.
Yeah.
To see like what it actually would be like, the like real version of it.
Yeah.
There's something really touching about that. Like I think that can reach emotional depth that these other versions of it can't access because there is this like disconnect, right?
Yeah, and you don't get too much in the other two movies we watch of just like the common man in general. Like it's very much focused like on the family and the politics and all that,
Yeah, I mean in like literally in like Miller's Crossing, it's the two factions like warring at each other and like the power games, the maneuvering. And in The Godfather, it's about the Corleones, it's all about them.
Focused on them,
all about the family.
Totally.
Then we show like the next scene is Caligero has been working at Sonny's.
Yeah, he's
serving them drinks, serving them coffee. They give him little tips, And then he goes down into the basement where they're playing craps.
This is a great scene.
Yeah, and Sonny gives him the dice and he goes on a fucking roll. I also love the way that they just shove all the guys in the
and they just keep one at a time. It's just the way that he keeps saying like so much like $100 bet immediately fails, and then
he tries to bet on the next thing. He's like, I don't want your money touching my money.
Yeah, no, get out of here. Throw him in the bathroom. And Jojo keeps like leaning on him, and he's like, "No, get the fuck out of here! Get in the bathroom!" And then he's just about to throw the dice, and he looks like Coffee Cake's face. He's like, "No, I don't want that.
Don't look at him like that.
I don't like that."
He says first, like, put a towel over his face or something like that. It was really fucking funny.
Really good, yeah.
And then he says, he gets the hard four. That's a really dramatic moment. Like, and then he says he made 11 passes in a row,
which is insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know craps.
I think
really
it just means like,
I think he like went on an 11 win like sort of streak.
I think you just call the number and throw it is what they were doing.
I think there's more to it than that.
I'm sure. Maybe there's like you can win some back if there's certain rules or something.
Well, sevens like are I do know sevens are of an importance in craps. I think, and then maybe other people are like betting on like other numbers or other like rolls because when he says I'm gonna roll a 7, the other guy says like roll a 7 like Sonny's like no we don't want to roll 7.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much was just like rolling against his roll or
I know Paul Thomas Anderson's first like major film, Hard 8, is a reference to like craps, and they play dice in that, but I didn't really retain very much of it. I know that when it's hard, it's doubles. Like that's why the hard 4 was 2 2s. A hard 8, I think, is 4 4.
Makes sense. And he's kind of giving some monologue here, where he decides that he's going to, get taught by Sonny, but also go to school so he can be twice as smart as everyone.
Well, that's what Sonny tells him. Sonny tells him like, hey, like you're getting the greatest education you can, Belmont Avenue University. But not just that. Hey, you could get 2 educations. And I love that Sonny is very adamant about like, he even says to him at one point when he's older, he's like, this is my fucking life. This is not your life, dude. Yeah. Like, dude, you take advantage of the fucking like the fucking things that you've been given, like the ability, the access to like an education, right?
Right.
And we get him saying, "Hey, good job, kid," giving him the money, and I love that Caligero's like, "That's it."
And
then he gives him like one more.
I knew Sonny was gonna like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he says, "I got a nickname for you. I'm gonna call you C." And I wonder if in real life this was, I'm gonna call you Chaz.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And yeah, he starts talking about how like now people started treating him better.
For note-taking purposes, wow, so nice. He gave him a 1-letter nickname.
Yes, that's such a good point. I mean, I was writing up a storm with how like many characters and moving parts there were. But
it's a very colorful cast.
Yes. A lot of pieces moving all at once. Yeah, so he gets free food from Phil.
Yeah, Phil gives him some free fruit,
because I think
he
says that Sonny started introducing him as his son.
Yeah, Sonny took him everywhere and introduced him as his boy.
And I love, like I've been saying that, because I was so sure that it was going to turn nefarious, like he was kind of going to use him as this tool, manipulate him. And I love that it stays so pure, and that like this is the core of it right here. He mentions later that he fell in love once, but like it didn't really work out. He doesn't have any kids, but you can see.
No. He fell in love. He found the 3 perfect women when he was 16.
That's right.
You only get 3 great women in your life.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, just this. He genuinely wants to be a good father to see. It's just so sweet.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense. He's like a steward of this community. He's like,
Mm.
I mean, you may disagree with the way that he carries things out, but I mean, this movie is not a super violent movie.
No.
And Sonny, like, we see him shoot someone, and maybe kind of like he smacks like Calogero around a little bit, and we see some sort of like roughing up. But like, I mean, he beats up the bikers, but like, I think you laid it out, you would be like, yeah, I mean, like, he doesn't seem like this twisted, psychopathic, bloodthirsty fucking gangster, you know?
Right.
Like I think it's one of those things where like peace is good for business, right? Like let's just let things like, run. Like
Totally. Yeah. I just, I was thinking at some point you got to recruit more people, and it's like, how do you find people if you already got this like, like kid who's so excited by this lifestyle and stuff. I feel like it'd be really easy to be like, oh yeah, well he'll fit right in.
yeah, I feel like it didn't feel like there was a huge like expansionist
No.
sort of aspect of
Yeah, like you
this.
said, keeping the peace.
Yeah, I
was the
don't
vibe,
know
yeah.
if he was like, "Oh, I need to expand." I mean, he says like, "I give them just enough for them to like rely on me."
Yeah.
And he's probably, I don't know, he seems kind of like a grounded guy. He's like, "I'm making good money. I own this bar, I'm making a lot of money off of like gambling.
Yeah.
I get to live a comfortable life." That's what one of the cool things about it too, where it's like not this thing about like excess, like
Yeah.
he's not. They're dressed in like nice suits, but it's not excessive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like a humble bar. Like, it looks
feels,
like any kind
feels
of...
pretty grounded.
It feels like any kind of dive bar, Like, it doesn't feel like a super rich mafia bar.
Yeah. He gets back in with the peaches, and his mom has found the money, the $600 he's saved from working for Sonny. And Lorenzo's like, we're gonna go back and give this to him. And Racina's like, wait, let's think about it. $600.
Yeah.
A lot of money, dude. Like are you sure? And he's like, no, we're gonna go do it. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because he says when he brings back the money and he's like, we can't accept this. He says something about like dude, like you're putting me in a situation where my son has more money than me. Like, bro, you have to understand how this makes me feel. Like this sort of appeal to pride, or not just pride, but of like, I have a role to fulfill, and you're undermining me by like providing my son with this like quick cash, like,
right.
And I didn't sign up for that.
This was when my read on Sonny was like, he's going to be nefarious, because I thought this is a very reasonable reaction to you like taking someone's son into your like mafia crime ring, him being like, hey, stay away from my son. Him like, how dare you tell me to stay away from your son? I was like, that like I thought that was him like, yeah, setting himself up to be kind of this manipulative, like,
he definitely
mob
has
boss.
boundaries of like, or like things that he's like, hey, don't cross that fucking line. Don't fucking talk to me like that. And like unreasonable ones, like definitely like big ego ones, but like he's not gonna fucking kill this guy, right? He's not gonna shoot him in front of his fucking son, right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna put the screws on him. He's just gonna be like, don't come into my fucking bar. Don't fucking talk to me. Like, you mind your business, I mind mine. And I love that. It's just so like, yeah, I mean, that's realistic. Not like, oh, I'm gonna Machiavellian plan like how to destroy this guy's life just because like he fucking talked to me like
Well,
that.
more so just that he refused to stop seeing his son. Like that's a very reasonable ask from a father.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. But I mean, he's like, that's my boy. Let's see, he's funny, dude.
Right. But that's when I was like, this is only going to get more heated, more conflicted. But like, this is going to lead to tragedy between Robert De Niro or Lorenzo. And not at all. Yeah.
The bad influence is fucking slick, dude.
Yes,
and
love
the jerk
that.
offs.
I love that so much that they're trying to play the cool guy, but they're really just fucking losers. And I love that Sonny keeps bringing that up. Like, no, stay away from those kids. They're bad.
Also, like this movie kind of like, okay, this movie definitely a mobster movie, but so much more coming of age story,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
With the like mobster as part of the backdrop of like what's going on,
Yeah.
like in the Bronx and everything. And I love that. Like
Yeah.
that's a cool sort of
I
way.
like it a lot.
Like it's not like you don't get the like, this is the lieutenant, this is the soldier, this is how we like make money doing this or that. It's very like in the
Right.
background. And we're not brought into it because it's all from Calogero's viewpoint, and he never goes into it, right? Like he's
Right.
always around it.
Yeah. And you were talking about earlier, like all the slow cars kind of like passing by. There's a lot. I kept waiting, like, oh, here comes the drive-by shooting. And I love that it's the kids are the only ones who actually do a drive-by in this whole movie. Like,
Tragic, bro.
it is tragic. But
Especially thinking those kids are all like 17.
yeah, no, the fucking
It's so
idiots.
fucked up, like the shit they were getting into, dude. But I mean, fucking jerk offs.
Yep. And I love that Lorenzo, like one of the things he brings up here is like he threw away his baseball cards.
Yeah, he was gonna throw away his baseball cards because he said Mickey Mantle would never pay my rent. I love that. It's so great. And yeah, he tells him, "Stay away from my son."
Yeah.
Really awesome moment. I mean, come on, like fucking Robert De Niro
Yeah,
here.
yeah, he's so good. I mean, he's in his speech is great too, where he's just like, "Look, ask anyone. I know the rules. I do, but like, you're wrong here."
Well, yeah, he's like, "Hey, man, I'm not somebody to like lose my temper, and I'm not like gonna step out of line. Like, I know who you are in this neighborhood, but yeah, like you said, this is the one thing where it's like, dude, trust me, this is a fucking boundary for me. Just do me a favor, don't fucking cross that line, you know?"
Yeah, and he kind of keeps crossing that
Yeah,
line.
he does.
So that's why I'm surprised Lorenzo does kind of back off. Like he does is just kind of like, all right, for most of the movie.
Yeah, I think at a point he realizes like Sonny is such like a force in the neighborhood. Like it's like, what do you like? You can't afford to move away.
Yeah.
So like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell your son, hey, like, sure, every time you can, hey, Calogero, don't hang out with Sonny, man. Please don't hang out with Sonny. And like he's gonna keep doing it, and you're just like at a certain, you're just like, hey, like don't hang out. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna intercede, keep interceding. No, I mean, especially when you see sort of like Sonny show his teeth like that, like a little bit like
Yeah.
got to be realistic.
Yeah.
And I love that about this movie. It feels very much like the characters are like reasonable to a human degree.
Yes.
It's not all these like inflated, bloated, like not everyone's like Sonny, like in The Godfather,
Yeah.
you know?
Totally. But again, I like they do have that royalty vibe versus
Oh,
like the
absolutely.
shop, and it fits with their statuses because there is someone above of Sonny as well. We just don't get into that,
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we get the working man is a sucker line here.
Yeah, because Calogero wants to know, he says, like, where's my money? Why'd you give my money away? And he's like, that's bad money. And yeah, we have the working man is a sucker. And people don't love him. They fear him. Because, like, Calogero's trying to, like, appeal to him. Like, dude, like, the people who ride your bus, they love you. Like, everybody in this neighborhood loves him. Yeah. They don't. They fear him.
That's kind of the thread that eventually convinces Calogero to, like, no, this isn't the life for me. Like, in that final car ride he has with Sonny, where he's like, he realizes it's true. Like, he doesn't trust anyone.
Yeah.
It's all about fear. Like, he's like, that's not for me.
Yeah, for sure. And this is actually, I think this is the part Jimmy whispers as they're walking away. Jimmy whispers and Sonny are watching, and Jimmy does ask Sonny, "You want me to take care of him?" And Sonny's like, "Nah." And then he says,
"Leave him alone."
Lorenzo and Sonny never spoke again, and he says, "But I kept sneaking off to the bar, As he grew, Sonny grew in power."
Yeah, Sonny became the boss, and I was his friend.
Yeah.
8 years later.
1968, Aqueduct Racetrack.
Yeah, fun to see this.
Again, Lilo Brancato, he fucking, like, I love it. It's just great casting.
Yeah.
The kid does a good job, too. Like, like, a lot of the young love stuff, I feel like when I was younger, like, maybe in, like, my mid-20s, I'd be like, this is this is gross. And watching it now, it's so heartwarming. Yeah. I'm like, they're so cute. Like,
they are cute.
Teenagers falling in love. Like, there's some moments that are like, the performances fall a little flat. Yeah, but I almost prefer having believable aged people. Like in Jane's case, she seems very much like a teenager.
Yeah,
like, and her performance isn't super strong.
No,
but I think the casting of her, like, because it's not just like how you say things, it's also like how you look. And I think her
hold yourself,
her like, visually she does a great job.
Yes,
like,
I was gonna say, her performance was pretty shaky for me, but I thought it almost fit this kind of young, awkward love thing.
Yeah, no, it's very cute. It's very cute the way, I like Italians, all that shit. But they're at the racetrack. He says the thing about the Yankees were in last place, and I didn't give a shit, Yeah,
he's talking about the Beatles too, how they were rocking their world.
They were changing the world, yeah.
And they're betting on kryptonite.
Yeah. He places a bet on Kryptonite for Sonny. And of course, Mush shows up, and he's also cheering for Kryptonite.
I love this so much.
They tear up their tickets and walk
before
out.
the race, like the horse is winning, and he sees that Mush put in a bet, and he's like, fuck this, and C stays behind, and then just loses by an inch.
That's one of those larger than life things that I love. That is actually based in reality.
Yeah.
This real dude who's playing himself, who like just loses so much fucking money, like all the time on bets, just a horrible jinx.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And then we have the Fordham Social Club, Deuces Wild.
Yeah.
And so like they're like 17-year-old kids like own this like social club.
I was kind of confused by that too.
And they said that they paid for the rent with the jukebox and the cigarette machine and the drinks, like the beers were $1. Sounds pretty dope, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also was just like, well, so much for like staying in school, because he was just talking about cutting classes. There's a good line about how like, well, you didn't want to go the next day because then you'd find out you missed something the previous day.
He says
really great line.
And nobody wanted to leave first because like you didn't want to hear about like what you had missed. It's great little FOMO sentence. So they hang out at this place all fucking day. Yep. We get this scene reminiscent of the bus driving by them when they were younger, where there's these black guys roll by in their car, and you see Slick and Crazy Mario. We got we got Ralphie, and then I forgot Aldo.
Aldo.
That's their names. You see the whole like sort of crew. They're a bunch of degenerates.
Yeah, we also
calling some women.
We get a Mario's test for.
Yeah, Crazy Mario, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, I won't even say what it is because it's really fucking gross.
Also, it is. He says you got to get on the freeway, drive up next to an 18-wheeler, and then push the girl's head to forcefully request fellatio. And if she is willing to do it in front of the truck driver, you got to dump her. What the fuck? You are crazy, Mario.
Yeah, I was like, I wrote parentheses, sick maniac next to that. Like,
yeah, I love later on Sonny's like, Crazy Mario's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, and just the way that this test is mirrored with what is true, like chivalry later, I really like that coming from Sonny's test.
They're very cute little tests.
Yeah, I thought it was very sweet.
I'm not one for these, like, some of the, they're like, in real life, if somebody told me this, I'd be like, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
But as like a little plot device and like this indicator of like respect and love, I don't know. It was very cute in the movie. I did like it a lot.
It makes sense, right? Thoughtfulness, yeah. But also, like, you can't judge someone by one moment. Maybe they're nervous. Maybe they're not thinking about that at that second.
Yeah, lots of people have ADHD these days. They get into a car and they're immediately just like
on their phone.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Yeah, totally.
And we get Lewis owing him money. I love this ongoing bit.
Well, the guys drive by and they're all like, they're in our neighborhood. Fuck these guys. What are they doing? Sort of setting up sowing the seeds for the conflict. And I love how at the beginning I'm not really thinking much of it, but as it progresses, you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be a driving force of this movie. But yeah. You got Louis Dumps. He owes fucking Calogero, he owes him $20.
$20.
He keeps talking about how his grandmother's sick or something like that, or his mother's sick, and like running away. It's very funny.
Yeah, good bit. And then his dad pulls up and
calls him over to get on the bus.
Yeah, and I forget what he asks him. I think he's asking if he wants to go to the Yankees game, and he's like, "Do I have to?" And he's like, super bummed that he would ask that, and I'm super bummed.
I like the way it's set up too. He gets on the bus. Where does he sit? He sits
on the
across
other side,
from like his usual spot. His dad's like, "What are you doing? Why are you sitting over there? Come on, sit in your spot." And he's like, "Okay," and he sits behind him, and he disparages the great American art form that is jazz, which I think is reprehensible. But hey, he's just a teenager.
Yeah, it's really sad too, because when he gets off the bus, his dad's like, I'll try to get some better music next time. I'm like, oh man.
And Lorenzo asks him if he wants to go to the fights tomorrow.
Oh, the fights, yes, okay.
Yeah, and he is kind of like, do I have to? He's like, come on, man, like what the fuck? And he's like, okay. And this is the fucking love at first sight moment. It's Calogero and Jane making eyes at each other on the bus, and we have the voiceover of him like, she was tall and all this stuff, and then he says, but she was black, and that was a no-no in my neighborhood.
Yep. And we also we pull up to the like record store where all the black fellas are hanging out, and that's gonna be a big
Yeah,
big
it's
thing.
like it is the sort of like headquarters of the guys who the fucking Deuces Wild crowd perceives to be like their fucking like nemesises, right?
Yeah, and as far as I can tell, like they're not even like in the crime business or anything. They're just hanging out.
Yeah, like who knows, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure that they're doing their own things, whatever. It's also like so innocent when they come by. They're just like riding their bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so yeah.
I
mean,
love and I love that. It's like I don't like you don't watch the movie and you're like, oh well, they're like provoked or anything. It really just feels like senseless racism.
yeah,
And I
absolutely.
kind of love that it's just like doesn't have to be anything more than that, dude. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I mean, then you see like the way that they react when like Calagero's in their neighborhood and stuff, and I mean, you know, again, being protective of your community felt very real.
Yeah.
And especially 1968, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Wild times.
yeah, I mean, dude, if they were in the South, they were like, this would be a huge no-no, you know,
Yeah.
illegal even, I think.
Is that
in certain
right?
parts of the
Yeah.
South.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Wild. Also, Lorenzo won't call him by his nickname. You know, important detail. Like he refuses to recognize his identity with Sonny, basically.
Yeah, and did you notice at the very end of the movie what he says to him?
No, what does he
He
say?
says, "Let's go home, see."
Oh, he does. I
Yeah,
missed
he
that.
calls him by the nickname.
That's
It's
cute. Yeah, I didn't pick that up. That's great.
like because these movies you are so often forced to be like choose this or choose that. Do you
Yeah.
want like the badass gangster movie or do you want like the heartfelt like family? And this movie is like heartfelt and is like, no, I learned stuff from this guy. Like
Yeah.
he was a bad guy, but he was good to me and like
Yeah.
he had a good heart. And
Yeah.
I just love that. Like
Yeah.
I like as a person who's into like nuance, like
Yeah.
that's cool. I like that. I like and yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll get into it more as we go on, but I just think that's so fucking sick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I was really, really impressed and surprised by like
Yeah.
how well it was written. Yeah.
Lorenzo's dropping C off, and he makes eye contact with Sonny. A good little moment. And I love that Calogero gets off the bus and he says he sees Louis Dumps again, tries to chase him, but Sonny calls him over. And I love Sonny being like, "You don't gotta resort to violence." He's like, "Do you even like this guy?" He's like, "No, $20. Never talk to him again." My parents have literally said this to me before.
Really?
I think, yeah. I've heard this before. Like it's like, oh man, you know, like. That like what are you gonna like stress out about that for? Like you never have to deal with that person again in your life.
Yeah, I
you know?
love all this sage wisdom he gives him. Like he's so for the life he lives, he's so grounded and like wise.
Yeah, I think it is. He feels like someone who actually has some information to impart, and I think the problem with Lorenzo is like he's very much under the like impression that Sonny wants to like make him like him.
Yeah,
But
well, which is
that-
what I thought at the beginning of the
and
movie.
that's
yeah.
never Sonny's intention
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like we'll see later on, like the way
Mhm.
when he literally says, "This is my fucking life, dude, not your fucking life."
Yeah.
And this is where we get the background. Sonny was in prison for 10 years.
Yeah, reading Machiavelli.
Reading Machiavelli.
Which
Hell
is
yeah.
really funny.
And he talks about availability,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because that's a big thing in like politics right now as
Mhm.
well. People talking about availability. And so it just felt very like kind of like
Prescient?
yes, but that's not what I was going to say. It just felt very sort of like I don't know, very like this economic awareness in the use of that specific word, availability. And then in the next scene he's talking about they know I'm close, you know. And then he asks him, and I love this how like Calogero really isn't actually super scared of Sonny. Like he really will have genuine conversations with him. Like it feels like
Yeah.
there's this like I don't know,
Well,
open dialogue.
Now at this point, he is like a mentor, father figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, "Is it better to be loved or feared?" And Sonny says he would rather be feared.
Mhm.
Fear lasts longer than love. The trick is to not be hated.
Yeah.
And this is where he says, you know, I give them just enough that they rely on me, but not so much that they don't need me. And then the guy starts talking about the menu, and I get excited. I'm listening to all the different food that they have available. Sounds beautiful. Sounds like a little friggin' feast. And then these fucking pieces of shit, the devil's messengers, causing a ruckus with their motorcycles in Fordham, my fucking neighborhood.
Yeah, it's the fun scene.
I do love that. Even like the sound design makes it like so you're like these guys suck. They're annoying. Like
Yeah.
why are you fucking being so fucking annoying? And I did love because it's like it is set in the 60s, like motorcycle gangs like the Hells Angels. I said motorcycle, so motorcycle gangs were becoming very prevalent in the 60s. So I love this little like touch of culture.
Yeah, and it's fun to actually see more of what
Satan's messengers were their names. Sorry.
Gotcha. What is Sonny's crew actually up to a lot of it? Which this is not like a representation, but I guess I wanted to see them in action more often. Like what is happening behind the scenes, you know?
It gives you a moment of like, okay, like let's like
I want to see what these guys are capable of.
It's also like the moment in all these movies where we're like growing attached to these like characters who are bad people, and you get reminded like, hey, these people are pretty like they're like used to violence. They don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
And in this situation, it is two violent groups against each other, so it's very easy to be like, yeah, fuck Satan's messengers.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I mean they came in looking for a fight basically.
And again, it's this like classic sort of trope of like the mafia. We got class, you know. We wear suits. We approach things professionally. We will talk to you. We will discuss, you know. And then these modern guys, they just like what? They just roll around. No respect, just causing a ruckus, you know.
Yeah, and I like come together playing when they come into the bar, very like on the nose. Yeah, Sonny has a conversation with them.
I think it starts playing when he locks the door and they start fighting. Yeah. Yeah, the music selection was really fun.
Yeah.
Essentially, these guys come in. They're like, they like come in, and Jimmy Whispers is trying to tell them, guys, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. You're not dressed appropriately for like this establishment. And like, come on, we just want a beer. And Sonny, again, reasonable. He's like, you just want a beer? Okay, sure.
I love the look on Sonny's face when one of them pats him on the back. He's like, okay, that was a step too far, but
a little comfortable. You're being a little familiar.
And then a toast to the host, they say, and then they just start spraying the bartender with their fucking beers like a bunch of idiots.
This is one of those things that I would be like, this doesn't feel grounded. But come on, like, you know, I mean, I always underestimate the buffoonery of the male of the male human, you know, the male specimen of our species. You know, like, again, watching it, I'm like, really? But when I think about it deeper, I'm like, yeah, I feel like something dumb like this could happen.
I mean, the way I see it is they probably wouldn't have done that if they hadn't just been told to leave. This is like...
Yeah, them being cheeky.
This is them flexing, like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. And I love the way he just locks the door and he's like, now's you can't leave.
So he tells him to leave and he's like, I'll tell you when we leave.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, now you can't leave. And the little, like... voiceover too of like they just realized they're in the wrong bar.
Yeah, I love how he says the look on every single one of their faces. We get Jojo the whale just like squeezing a guy against the bar with like with his belly. Yeah. It's great.
The wet toupee. Yeah, there's a lot of nice little moments.
Yeah, and we see immediately like Calogero does not have the stomach for this. Like,
yeah,
he falls over and he's kind of like cowering the whole fight.
Yep.
I really love Sonny saying, they ruined my whole fucking lunch. They ruined my whole fucking lunch. Like, just over it. Like, it's so pissed off. They have to pull him off, like, one of the guys.
Yeah, they're going hard on them, throwing them on the bikes, breaking the bikes.
The fucking Deuces Wild boys, like, start, like, come in, right?
I thought they might, like, kill the guy because they're just stomping on. I mean, the human
like,
body can only take
with
so
a baseball
much.
Bat,
yeah. Like, it's kind of amazing none of those guys died with the beating they were given.
Next scene is Nicky Zero, the neighborhood thief. His mom calls him Zero because he would never mount to anything. And the guy's got some guns that he's trying to sell them. And you just see how fucked up Slick is already, where he's like, it's the gun. It makes me want to like shoot someone.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I want to shoot someone. And I think maybe it's Aldo who's like, yeah, I want to shoot someone too. And I'm like, you guys are fucked up.
Yeah. And I think, again, just that tension of like, this is not going anywhere good. Like, this is going to end in tragedy.
It reminded me of, again, it's that thing of like when you're young, you have like all sorts of friends. Maybe you don't, but we're having these different groups of friends and having these moments with not like related around guns, but maybe like other things, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like for like a young boy, like maybe the first time like you're exposed to like pornography or something like that, you know, and being like, I don't think like I like this.
We shouldn't be doing this, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell a really kind of fucked up story right now. I remember when I was like 12 years old, there was this guy who lived across the street from me in the apartment building. He was this 18-year-old dude, and he would invite my friends over who were like 13 to like watch these like porn videos with them. And I went there once, and I was so uncomfortable, and I was like felt very weird about the morality of it too. And like in retrospect, when I got older, I remember I was telling someone this story, and they're like, "How old was that guy?" And I was like, "He was like 18." They're like, "That's really fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, to show a
Like,
bunch of 13-year-olds.
13,
Yeah.
12, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like I feel like you get kind of like the same sort of vibes from this, like his like interactions with these guys.
Yeah.
Where like you can see he doesn't really like quite fit in, right? He's like a polite, like a good kid. Like he's not like this like sort of hoodlum, you know?
Yeah, not a hoodlum. Yeah, good kid, but like totally relatable. The common peer pressure thing, right? Where it's just
Yeah.
like I totally get why he doesn't want to just be like, okay, pull over and let me out, near the
Yeah,
end,
for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
That moment is so well done,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And just to be like saved like that, holy shit, dude.
Speaking of getting saved, Sonny comes in here, slaps the shit out of Zero. This was very
It was
satisfying.
great, yes. It was great. And he's like, I don't want any fucking guns around too. And you just see that like the gun is really the last fucking resort. Like
Yeah.
I kind of like they respect like how dangerous guns are. Like
Well, that and he's like, you're selling guns like right next to my shit. Like you're getting the cops like
Yeah.
if you get caught, that's my business
Yeah.
you're fucking with. Like,
yeah, I think it's that, but it's also like I don't want fucking
Yeah.
bodies around here. Like
yeah.
what the fuck are
And
you kids doing?
And he doesn't want C to have a gun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love he takes him aside. He's like, what I always tell you is like, get 2 educations. And he's like, yeah, gotta fucking stay in school, man. And he says, your friends are fucking jerk offs,
yeah.
especially Slick. And I love how he says, don't live my life.
Yeah.
He's basically like, do better, dude.
Yeah,
You can do better than me.
Don't do what I do. And then says like, yeah, this is not for you.
Yeah, and I love at the end, we get these mirroring of these dad scenes. He's like, so you want to go to the fights tomorrow? And he's like, and he's like, well, I'm already going with my dad. And he's like, well, you know where I sit. Come by, say hello.
Yeah.
Pay your respects, you know.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, also this, I feel like good pace, right?
Yeah.
I think that these coming of age stories, dare I say, can be kind of plotting at times, or maybe not. I feel like the two extremes are like maybe plotting or not enough like space to like feel like
Yeah. Well, I
Like-
think the core conflict in just like the factions at play and the questions of where is C gonna land and all of that just keeps it constantly interesting and entertaining.
yeah.
Yeah.
And to my point, like the next scene is they're at the fight tomorrow, right? Like and as they're sitting down, Caligero's like, oh, man, I hope I don't get a nosebleed. And fucking like, like I love Lorenzo's so like valid and just like the fuck, okay,
Yeah, like, well,
whatever.
this
dude.
is what I could get.
This is what I can get, man. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? Like, are you serious, dude? I just like spent like half my like fucking paycheck to like, like bought you fucking popcorn, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
I think it also is sort of showing like Caligero's always been like a polite, good, and he does apologize, right? But you're kind of seeing like these like little bits
Literally,
of
yeah.
like
of the corruption of the soul, which is theme number 1, right? Like,
and again, this is a story where the kid kind of makes it out.
yes,
Out
yeah.
the other side, like maybe being corrupted a little bit, but like just enough to realize that wasn't for him, right?
Yeah.
And I love that. That's sweet because so many of these like stories, especially nowadays, man, like it's like, like they end up being about like kids going down like dark paths or
Yeah.
like, people
Well, that's
going
what I was
down,
like I was saying. That's what I was expecting for the movie to be. Another one, just like, oh, well, here goes his
nice that
his
it's
life down the
it's
toilet.
nice that
yeah.
it's a good ending, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's God.
And
give us some happy endings.
I don't know if I would go so far to say I was a hoodlum, but I was definitely a pretty like irresponsible teenager. So like there is aspects where
I definitely don't think you were a hoodlum.
No. But like reckless, I think would be a good way to put it. So like I do see elements of myself in that, like it's good I chilled out when I did.
Did you ever steal anything from anybody? Like not from like I'm not talking about like from like a grocery store or anything like that. But did you ever steal from someone?
One time in 5th grade, I stole a kid's yearbook because I didn't order one. And I felt so guilty about it that when I got back to my neighborhood, I threw it into a swamp. And then my teacher called me like, "Did you take the year?" Like totally knowing I did. She never got in trouble for it or anything, but I just felt so bad about it.
Wow, very interesting. You were a hoodlum. I take it back. You're a piece of shit. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. That's like a very cute story.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, Mrs. Bean, if you're listening out there. I did take it, and I lied to you about it.
Sorry, Mrs. Bean. Like, wait, so she was the wife of Mr. Bean?
That's right.
Rowan Atkinson
That's
himself,
right.
dude? fucking legend. We see Sonny's next to the ring and he's waving at Calogero and at Lorenzo. And then we see like them sort of acknowledge him, and Calogero doesn't really like wave back at him. Guy comes up and says, "Hey, Sonny's got some seats down here for you both of you. You want to join him next to the ring?" Lorenzo's like, "Thank you," right? Very respectful, thank you, but we're just gonna stay where we are. Like, we appreciate it. And C echoes this sentiment. But when the dude leaves, he's like, "Dude, we could be sitting down there, dude, with them, you know, in like the nice seats." And Lorenzo's like, "I like my seats. I paid for my seats.
I paid for them." Yeah, I thought that was a good
I think he says,
encapsulation of his
I
character.
like my seat. I paid for my seat.
Yeah.
Very good. And he's like, "Go if you want." And I love this because this, again, like, speaks to, like, I think he would have really let him go if he wanted to. He's like, "Go."
Yeah.
And he's like kind of like telling him, "Just know it'll make me deeply sad if you go," because I thought this was something. It's all very like implied, but he also is vulnerable enough to say, like, he's like, you know, the moment we get here, you like want to go down with him. How do you think that makes me feel?
Yeah.
And
he says, "I'm sorry if I hurt you," which is so sweet.
And the emotional depth of this interaction, like in the writing and then in the performances, phenomenal. I think this is such an amazing like father-son moment.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those moments I watch that makes me want to like call my dad and like hang out with him, you know? Yeah, it was good. Again, like, and the nuance, right? Like, Lorenzo, as we'll see, is a great father, but he's not like a perfect person, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But like, I do think the working class man angle is really admirable here, right? Like, I worked so hard for this, and I'm not just gonna like take someone's free ticket, especially when it's coming illicitly, you know?
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, like, there's definitely like a version of Lorenzo that's like, okay, right? Like, but he's like very principled. He's very like hard line, or like, sure, we'll keep the like,
Right.
like, you know what? Or even like Lorenzo's like, you keep those $600, you save that money up so that like you can like go
Pay
to
for
school
your
or
education,
something, right?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But I love how he's got a hard line about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, because it makes the story much more interesting.
Well, but he also brings up a good point when he's talking to Rosina on the fire escape earlier, where he's like, you do one thing, and then the next thing they're gonna be wanting more. And
about
like,
offering him the job. Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, and he's totally right. Like, which is what happens. Like, you got C who lies about Sonny shooting someone, and then immediately like, oh hey, we got a job for you, right? And like, luckily enough, Sonny's a reasonable enough man to take no for an answer, but like, there's plenty of criminals out there that wouldn't be happy with that, you know?
Yeah, and I think that, again, that is very realistic as well. I feel like that he is someone who takes no for an answer and is like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get it. Feels more grounded to me.
Yeah, well, for something like this, just some bus driver, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Why
it's not like he's like a politician or something.
Yeah,
like why make waves, you know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And you don't want, like, again, you want them to fear you. You don't want them to hate you. I think that's so important because so many other of these figures in movies, I think we've talked about it before, we're like, everyone fucking hates you. How are you actually keeping any power over them, right?
Totally.
And there are some compelling ones or fun ones to watch where they're just absolute fucking psychopaths, right?
I think of the Dune, like the Baron and them. They're just,
but they're a culture. That's the thing that Herbert does so well is that you talk like this is really like it's like a study of like humanity like gone down all these different paths and like what if we spent hundreds of years crafting this culture that fucking like worships us, right? And serves us.
And it reminds me of a big theme in Lord of the Rings, which is that like evil destroys itself, right? And I think you can see a lot of that in modern politics these days, where like if you're fucking everyone over, soon you're gonna get betrayals, you're gonna get people fucking you over, trying to stick one to you. Like, you're just making such a mess that if you just had a slightly more gentle touch, like, you wouldn't have all these problems.
Yeah, don't have sex with kids.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I was referring to, but
don't
yes.
Have sex with kids.
Yes, don't do that, guys.
I mean, don't have sex with kids.
Yeah.
You know, just because you have $1 billion, don't have sex with kids.
Yeah.
I know that
for all you billionaires listen out there.
I know this is a hot take. I know this is a crazy ass. Please don't fuck children.
Or don't show 13-year-olds porn. That too.
Yeah. Oh my, it's so strange, dude.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I can like picture like. Because it was like in the like fucking apartment complex I lived. It was like across the street and like upstairs. And what's so funny is that the guy who lived underneath that later on my good friend of mine in high school, a Josh, not Josh Kipperstock, a different Josh. He the first time I ever smoked pot was in his house, and that was downstairs, and that was way more of like a like sweet, pure sort of like innocent, like that feels like the one that would be in the coming of age story, that would be like a cute one, whereas like just the fact that those things happen like one on top of the other, like geographically, even though they happen like years apart, there's just something about like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I actually remember when I first saw porn as well. We'll just get it all out there. My best friend at the time was a couple years older than me, and he showed it to me, and just like seeing this movie, I wanted to be like cool, and I was like, yeah, this is hot, but I was like weirded out by it. I was just like, this is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know if this is common, but like with my this group of friends I had in junior high would get together and watch porn together and like jerk off like under blankets. It's so strange.
Yeah.
Growing up is weird.
Growing up is weird.
Growing up
Sexuality is weird.
Sexuality is weird. I mean, growing up and being like a woman sounds like having a little sister. That sounds weird as fuck too. But like the intricacies of everyone's experience and like what I'm getting to here. Also, like growing up as a boy is so fucking weird. So fucking weird.
Absolutely.
So they're at school. Speaking of growing up.
Yeah, I wrote doo-wop group here.
Yeah, there's a doo-wop group singing in the hallway. And I love that sound as like a backdrop to a lot of the scenes.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. It seems like this kind of thread, even though like mostly we've just seen the racist side of this community, it's this constant thread of music that is bringing this vibrance to the community, right? And
Slick, I think he even comments on these fucking guys singing, but he's talking about how he's gonna beat up some guy who owes him $10.
Yeah, and I love that he's like, let the debt go.
Yeah, I mean, like think about it. Like,
growing.
do you like this guy? Is he a jerk off? You know, he's like, yeah, and but we see Slick. You know, he's like, I'm still gonna break his face.
Yeah.
In an awesome little moment where he sees her at his school.
Yeah.
Very
Another
cute.
very long like stare between them back and forth walking down the stairs.
And she does that really well.
Yeah,
the way that they
does,
both like coyly like stare at each other.
Yeah.
But she kind of like very cutely, knowingly, like sort of smiley does it.
Mm-hmm.
And him just kind of like so enraptured by her.
Yeah, I've never had an interaction like that, but it's weird. It feels heightened, but like again, kind of that fairy tale aspect to it.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I've ever had but I'm also kind of like clueless.
Sure, yeah.
I'm pretty clueless.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, me too.
But yeah, very very cute, and I love how he says, you know, I can't talk to her though because I'm with my friends and she's with her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're all smoking upstairs, and he's like watching her through the window. And he says he's gonna stay. His friends are all leaving to go do some bullshit.
And he sees that her friends all leave, and she's just standing out there alone.
I think, but even before that, he's like, "No, I'm gonna stay because I got a test I gotta take."
Because he already skipped the last one, yeah. And
I like that it felt like it wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gonna set myself up to see her."
Yeah,
it's more like I am trying to be responsible. But then he sees her friends leave, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Might not have another shot.
No, and I love it. And then he goes down and he talks to her, and it's quite adorable, just like the way that he's having a hard time, and they're like laughing at each other.
I love that he admits that he's nervous to her later. He's like, sorry if I'm saying weird stuff, I'm just nervous. I'm like, that's such a endearing thing that like nobody would ever say when they're actually nervous, you know?
He says that he thought she would have an exotic name, like Monique or Danielle.
Yeah, she's like, Jane. He's like, that's it?
and then she says like, my name is Calogero, and she's like, what kind of name is that?
Yeah, that's funny.
Which I can relate to. And then I like the way she's like, I like Italians.
Yeah.
That was very cute. And then he offers to walk her home, and she's like, and again, just pointing out this like sort of like division, these like boundaries, ethnic boundaries in neighborhoods. And she's like, I live down Webster Avenue. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, that's okay. And I love how I'm thinking, oh, that's okay. He's really going to walk her all the way home. But then we see like, no. You're going to walk me home, but we both know that you're going to stop here.
Yeah. It's just kind of accepted between both of them. And she also like is like, where'd you get that hat? She doesn't like it and like fixes it up. And I think he wears this hat like that the rest of the movie,
no,
right?
He doesn't. Like in the next
boo.
time he's with his friends, he's wearing it like the other way. And she says, you have beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
And he says, you do too. They're very cute.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to movies.
It's definitely campy, but like it feels realistic and cute.
Yeah,
like,
it's fun, it's cute, you know, kids acting like they're in love and like doing doing a serviceable job.
Yeah.
And so they set up a date. They're gonna go to the movies tomorrow. And I love how he says, "I'll be waiting here until then." It's so cute. And she's like laughing at him. He's like, "Oh, sorry," and he's like, "Oh man, I'm like messing up." And she's like, "No, you're doing good. Don't worry."
Yeah. It's very cute. And she also says she likes his full name more than C.
Yeah. They're walking together,
which is like, such a, with his identity and name being such a big theme of the movie. It's
it
like
points that she likes his soul, his heart, not his like put on persona, this affectation,
Yeah.
And then as they get into the neighborhood, this car sort of stops, like blocking the crosswalk, and they have to walk around it. And then it rolls by them, and they're all staring at him, just like the bus, and just like the scene earlier in front of the Deuces Wild. And they stop like a block short, and they say goodbye. And as he's walking away, the guy throws a fucking beer bottle at him,
Yeah, right at his feet, too.
I mean, better than at his head, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, right at his feet.
And he just starts running.
Running. Back at the Deuces Wild. They're playing some interesting hand game, where I think they're trying to guess what the sum of their two hands is going to be.
That's fun.
And they're saying the numbers in Italian, too, which is cute.
Yeah.
I like it. I'd never seen that game before, and they were, like, betting on it,
Yeah, he does point out when he's talking to Jane that he's Sicilian, which is interesting, because that's, like...
But he also says...
like, mafia, like, headquarters in the lore of mafia.
Yeah, well, Cosa Nostra is from Sicily, primarily, yeah. And there's... Well, the thing he says also, which I think points to the importance of the whole Sicilian thing, is that like it's the thing that looks like it's being kicked by the boot that is Italy.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think it is this idea. I mean, it's like think a lot like it's not super industrialized. It is like a poorer part of like the country. It is further south, and I think there is maybe this inferiority complex, like or at least like superiority complex from other like Italians towards Sicilians. And I love the way that he sort of points it out.
Yeah, that's a good read.
But yeah, Chaz Palminteri is also Sicilian.
Okay, cool. And yeah, I get the sense that this still happens today, but it feels like even more so. And maybe it's just the city you live in, but it really is like communities of people. Like it's all Sicilians living here. It's all black people living here. I mean, of course, black people being segregated and all that, but like I feel like I see that trope a lot. And I'm wondering just like, is it really like that, where it's just like one apartment building, like one people?
I think it just depends on where you're living and at what time.
Yeah.
You're talking about the 60s in New York. Like, yeah, I think highly segregated.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like more modern developments and stuff, I mean Redmond, I remember there was a part where you like a lot of like Mexican and like Central American people lived in that specific like part of like Redmond.
Right.
I don't know if so much now, especially with all the development and people probably getting pushed out, but
yeah, I mean, I know immigrants like flock to each other a lot in certain communities. Like my mom is from Poland, and there's a Polish community in Chicago, so I imagine there was probably like a lot of Polish people living in one area.
Yeah, there's not like a lot of Peruvian people in like anywhere really on like the West Coast. My parents, I feel like they like, because of how they are, that their like sense of community was never super tied into like their national identity. It was so much about like the people at the university that my dad worked with, that my dad studied with, and that sort of it was this very sort of like academic environment, and like that was like the group of people that I grew up around. I always like lament like, because you see like movies like In the Heights or others of these like sort of like movies or things like really promoting like this sort of like this like pride or this like unity and like this community that is like joined by something like that, or that sort of like closeness of like a really urban like neighborhood where like people see each other all the day. I was always like, that'd be so sick to have that,
Yeah.
I lived in a fucking apartment. And then I think about it, I'm like, you know what? No, I had like a cool group of friends in my apartment. There was some aspect of that, but it wasn't like there was a corner store you'd roll up to and you'd be like, hey, what's up? Mister, and like,
I mean, we kind of had our coffee shop for that, where everyone showed up.
Yeah, I don't like, I mean, sure, for sure. It's a little different. I'm picturing myself being much younger. I think it's also contrasted with the fact that when I would go to Peru and I would visit my grandma and I would stay with her, that was definitely like the vibe. Like like in the neighborhood, there was a neighborhood store, and like I would go in and I could just put things on my grandma's tab. Like,
Yeah, that's always blown my mind in movies where they're like, yeah, put it on my tab. And they're like, yeah.
no, it's like it's a very real thing. And like, I
And then
remember
you gotta
going.
try to collect debt from people all the time. Like,
It's-
damn, bro.
But it's like a neighborhood. You don't end up having to collect debt from people because
they
people
just pay you.
people pay you. It's just
Yeah.
this matter of like, let me all like settle it all up at once, like at the end of the week. And I remember even going and getting like beer like from the store, and my uncle being like, yeah, just go around the corner, go get beer from La Señora, whatever her name is, and just tell her to put it on like our last names tab. And I was like, okay. And it just felt very, I don't know, there's something cool about
Yeah,
that.
It's very
like
wholesome.
very
Yeah.
neighborhood, you know.
So they're sitting on the stoop and playing games, and
Some black kids ride their bikes down the
Yeah.
street, and Slick decides to assault one of them.
yeah, this is terrible.
And then the boys all decide to also start assaulting the other black kids riding their bikes.
I had a feeling this was going to come into a conflict with Jane somehow.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, my last note in this scene, I really hope one of these kids wasn't Jane's brother.
Yeah,
Specifically
of
that
course.
one that he was on top of. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. So yeah, there's some kind of by the numbers stuff, but it like all fits and works so well that like I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, they do such a good job of like making them look like kids riding their bikes down the street, right?
Yeah.
And I think like also like the like casting of all the boys, like the Deuces Wild
Yeah.
boys, like they all look like kids.
Yeah, it's not like 26-year-olds. Yeah.
No, it's great. I think that's a really awesome aspect of this story.
Yeah.
And he tells it like, I think Slick is like, see, come over here and help me. And he's like holding Willie down. We don't know it's Willie yet, but he's holding him down. And he's like, please don't like try and stand up. Like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. And eventually the neighbors are screaming like, the cops are coming. The cops are coming. I see them coming, you know, again, that community aspect, watching out for your little psychopaths.
Yeah.
And then they end up running off, right? But he has to pull him away because fucking Slick says, C says, you're going to kill him. And Slick says, I want to kill him. You know,
Yeah,
like,
psycho, bro.
oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they run off. And of course, you're sat there. If you're a film buff like us, you're like, really hope one of those guys wasn't Jane's brother.
Oh yeah, and then we see C with Sonny, and he's like, I told
Leaving
you
his
Slick
house.
was trouble.
Yeah. Also, do you notice how he backed up the whole way through that scene?
Yes, I love that
He
so much.
backs up all the way to the bar.
Yeah, it's so good. And he tells him about Jane.
Yeah, well, he says, we hate these people. Well, I don't hate them. And he's like, what the fuck are you on about, dude?
Yeah, and he's like, my friends wouldn't. And he's like, fuck those kids.
Well, he says, half of them are going to end up dead or in jail.
Right.
Anyway, and not half of them.
They all
of
end up
them.
dead. Yeah.
And this is where he says that you're only allowed 3 great loves in your life. I'm basically telling him like, because he says this girl lives on Webster Avenue, and he uses the term colored, which was appropriate back then. I don't think people really like it these days. But anyway, he's like, you like a girl, she's black, like, dude, go for it. Like, who cares? Like, how does she make you feel? And he says something like, what matters is like how she makes you feel under the sheets at night or something like that, which, you know,
Yeah.
a little gross, but also like believable, you know.
Absolutely. And yeah, he's saying like maybe she's your first great one.
Yeah,
And
you
he-
only get 3.
He lends him his car, dude, which is so cool. Like that's such a awesome boss dad move.
It's so cool. It was
Yeah.
really cool. I was really.
You don't
really
let
sweet.
anyone drive your car, and he's like, yeah, whatever.
He says you don't let anyone borrow your
Yeah,
car
yeah,
because
yeah.
he does have somebody like he later on. He's like, all right, drive me around in my car. And then he explains to him the door test.
Yeah.
And the door test, for those who are uninitiated, is he wants him to get out of the car, lock all the doors, walk around, walk her to the car, unlock the door, and then let her in, close the door behind her, and then walk around and look in the rearview mirror. And if she doesn't unlock his door for him, dump her. That means she's
her.
selfish.
Dumper. Yeah, and I was like immediately like, oh well, she's gonna do that, but it was still like a really satisfying setup and payoff.
Yeah, because they like you're like, okay, like because when she shows up, you're like, oh my god, are they gonna do the door test? And then you're like, no,
No, yeah, that was a good subversion. Yeah.
it is really good. And the next scene is the most disappointing Lorenzo scene.
Yeah.
C's shaving. He asks his dad for advice, and I like how we see C is enough of a developed individual that he knows that he disagrees with his father,
Yeah.
right? Like, because he asks him this question.
Well, he sets it up as his friend.
He does the classic
Yeah.
fucking like, oh, Jimmy Oso or whatever. Like, And this is where we get Lorenzo saying, I think we should marry within our own.
I'm not prejudiced or anything.
Yeah, and like, and he was like, come on, Daddy, you're prejudiced, you know? And I like that. I like that a lot. It was cool. Like, you know.
Well, it felt very real. Yeah.
Very real.
Yeah.
I also, like, I wondered when he says that, to me, he means Italians. Like, you should marry an Italian girl. Like, it doesn't just mean, like, marry a white girl. Like, it means to me.
I think especially not black girls was the vibe I got from it, but yeah, the closer to home you can, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's definitely racist.
Yeah.
Like, there definitely feels like this part of it that's like, yeah, there's prejudice to it. But like, I felt like the choice of words, like, to me, I was like, there's a little bit of like, I want you to marry an Italian girl, like, you know, like that's ideal. Like,
yeah, I agree. And then he's driving the car to the date, and of course, thinking this is gonna be a really cute date, and like that it subverts it here, and you can tell right when she's walking. I'm like, uh oh.
She looks upset.
She looks mad, yeah. And she tells him.
And she calls Will. She's like, I'm gonna call Willie over because he says I wasn't there. That wasn't me. And he says he says he saw you. He says it was you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him over. We're gonna figure out what the truth is.
And again,
he lies,
yes.
and that undermines his position.
Yes, and I saw this coming, but I thought it was handled so well, where it's like, of course, you're setting yourself up to look bad here, but there's also truth in it, and like I think that's a very messy, like real situation.
Yeah, I think we do, like, because it's like he is very much like, look, man, I was like the only one who wanted to help you, and like this is how you repay me. It's like, all right, dude. Yeah. Back up, dude. You were hanging out with some like your friends were assaulting these kids.
Well, and then he calls them the N-word too.
Yeah, no, that's when he loses all the when the ground falls out, and like Jane and Willie are so upset. Yeah. Well, Jane is very upset.
He knows he messed up.
And Willie's like, yep, look, just like every other fucking.
Like I told you, yeah.
Yeah, every fucking fool, just like this dude. I thought like there was definitely a part of me is like, is there any way for him to come back from this? And it's nice that Jane sees enough good in him to like come back to him later on. But I mean, it's just such a and again, it's a different time and stuff, but like such a hurtful word, you know? Yeah. And he like does say it with so much like
venom.
Yeah. And it is so disappointing to see that from like Calogero, like, because he's a good guy. He's a good kid.
Yeah,
you know?
Every time his friends are like, let's go do bad things to black people, he's like, let's not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but it was interesting to have him have that moment of vulnerability. I feel like, from a writing standpoint, like how it hits now, maybe versus then, there's still so much weight behind it. But yeah, I mean, fuck, man, it was a well laid out scene, like you said, like you can kind of see where it's going, but at the same time, you're like. There's a lot that's said and a lot that like develops through this like situation.
Right. He's driving back,
and the first thing you see is Lorenzo looking out the window.
His dad sees him driving the car,
and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get some shit for this.
Yeah.
So he's like, why are you back so early, dude?
I love how genuinely bummed out Sonny is that the date didn't go well. Like you could tell he's so like sad.
He's trying to talk to me. He's like, come on, like let's go out, like
it's really
come hang out with us.
It's
and
really sweet.
Calogero is like, I don't want to hang out. I want to talk about it. I just want to go. And it's like, okay. He gets home. Lorenzo's like, why were you fucking driving Sonny's car? And he's just like, I'm not in the mood, man. Like, I don't want to fucking talk about this. And I love this moment where Lorenzo's like, you think you're special? If you mess up, Sonny will fucking hurt you, just like he would anybody else.
Yeah, he says that man can't trust anyone.
Yeah. And they get in this argument. And again, the working man is a sucker.
Yeah, he says, he's talking about how his parents came here with nothing, or his grandparents, and he's like, and they died with nothing. Yeah, they died with nothing.
And he's like, you're not gonna disrespect your grandparents like that.
Yeah, and again, like a really well set up argument, because you're brewing with his emotions as well from this date, right? And you can see it. Like I felt so like empathetic in this moment. Like this is the last time he wants, or this is the worst time to hear this advice.
It was a good setup for it, because in another movie, you know, he would just be asking him, like, why'd you borrow Sonny's car? And it wasn't even for, like, a date or anything. He just sees him driving the car. Yeah. But the, like, events, the way they play out are so great, because they do set up for this tension of, like, it's not just, like, oh, Calogero's being a little brat. Like, you know, no, it's like, dude, I get why. Yeah, he fucked up, dude. Yeah. And it's not just that the date didn't go well or whatever. It's that it's that guilt. It's that fucking, like, dude, why did I fucking say that? Like, that's not who I am, you know?
Yeah, and his questioning his friends and like that they got him into this
Yeah,
situation, and all that.
absolutely. Then Caligero heads out. We see him walking down the street. The boys are in the car trying to get to come with them because they want to retaliate because their club has been egged.
Yeah.
It's so
Their response with Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, we'll
for
see
getting
later.
egged.
Yeah, it's
Insane.
It's so out of
Crazy
proportion.
Mario.
I mean, they're all
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
insane, dude, and they all really just like enable each other. And I love how they immediately fucking like scram because they see Sonny coming up, and you're like, oh, okay, like something like they're gonna have a conversation, and he immediately just starts smacking the shit out of him. He's
Well, he throws him up against the wall, and
he's
then
like, what the fuck did you do? What the fuck did you do?
yeah, and I was not
was
expecting
there a
this.
Jane? Yeah. It's like, and I love how at first I'm like, what is this setting up? Like somebody tried to blow up the car because he says after you left, the car wouldn't start and there was something attached to the engine and it didn't go off. But like, what the fuck were you doing? And you're like, so someone's trying to have him killed? Like, I don't like. And then again, at the end,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it
Yeah,
kind
I
of all
like that
comes into play.
they never walk you through, just like they never walk you through what the initial murder was about. They're
Yeah.
just like,
No, it's great.
It wasn't about a parking space.
It's so much about Caligero's perspective.
Yeah.
So much about like what his experience is and how these events, not being fully involved in them, but like witnessing them have like sort of shaped his life and his relationship with Sonny.
Yeah, and I like his performance here, and he's saying like
He starts crying.
Yeah, you've been like a father to me, and that's kind of finally where Sonny's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
why
no,
would
you didn't
why,
do
why
it.
would
You
I
didn't do
hurt
it."
you?
Yeah.
You know? And fucking
He's-
Caligero just like heads off, and Lorenzo's trying to catch up to him and he's like, what the fuck did you do to my fucking son, dude? And Sonny's like, don't fuck with me, dude. And then they fucking punch him in the stomach,
Yeah, and this is another great like the way we just saw the father and son like argument because of the previous events. Like right now, Sonny's like almost got assassinated. He's pissed off. He just got in a fight with like his son basically, and like this is
Yeah.
the wrong time for Lorenzo to walk
Yeah,
in.
for sure. And Lorenzo is like also like, look, I'm fucking right. Like, were you like I think he's like, what the fuck were you doing to my son? And he's like, I knew this was gonna happen. I told him like he's not special. He had like seeing like another man smack around your fucking son, dude.
Yeah, not okay.
My dad, this one time when I was 7 years old, I was at this day camp, and there was this kid, and we had gotten into like an argument, and I was very susceptible to like being teased, and I would cry a lot, and I think this really informs why I am the way I am now, because I like didn't like being teased, and I was like so easily like bullied and so like vulnerable. I'm still very sensitive, but like I think I've like, not to this degree.
I think it's so beautiful that you were prom king after all that.
Homecoming king.
Homecoming king, yeah.
Yeah. This is back in LA too, but I was going, well, not LA, in Reseda. I was at day camp, and we had both gotten in trouble, so we gotten told to like sit off to the side, and the kid is going like ha 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 over and over again, and then like the next ha ha sound is ha, because I fucking kicked him in the fucking stomach and knocked all the fucking air out of him. He was like 2 years older than me too, and I was like, and so I got in trouble, and they were like, you can't go to Six Flags Magic Mountain. And I loved going to Six Flags Magic Mountain. I was so bummed I didn't go on that trip. But then my dad comes to drop me off. Like I think the Monday after that, because this was like maybe like on a Thursday, and we were going to Six Flags on Friday. I can't remember. So long ago. And the guy's dad is there. And I swear to fucking God, this guy was huge. He looked like I think he was a fighter of some sort, but he looked like Mr. T.
Oh shit.
He was fucking huge, and he was jacked. And my dad is like 5'9", maybe 5'10", and this guy was maybe a full like 6 inches to like, yeah, he was maybe like, I don't know how tall he looks huge and this guy comes up and gets in my fucking face, and he says, oh, you think you can like fuck you can like fight my kid? You want we can settle this in the ring. We can put gloves on, we can put you in the ring, like we can settle this. And my dad immediately says, don't talk to him. You talk to me. You talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. You talk to him.
That's a dad right
and
there.
I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, wow, my fucking dad, like the fucking goat. and also feeling bad because and then later in retrospect realizing, oh, this guy had a very fragile sense of like masculinity because like his kid was 2 years old. And later that day he told my mom like, yeah, I like, your son is 2 years younger than my son, and he like felt like I had like, I don't know, I guess like he didn't like the thought of like a younger kid beating up his son or whatever. But years later, my dad, we were like sitting and like he's telling some people the story, and he's like, then I got in the car and I pissed my fucking pants. And I love that. You just like, you know, like the context of you put on the brave face for
The
me
only
in that
time you
moment.
can be brave is when you're afraid.
Yeah, but it was really beautiful. Very lovely dad moment.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sonny and his guys, they drive off after they fucking punch Lorenzo in the stomach, put him on the ground. Then Calogero walking down the street again. He runs into the boys. It's like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, I
like,
had such a bad feeling here.
As
yeah.
a viewer, I was
because
just like, no,
it's perfect
dude.
because he's gotten a fight with both of his parents, right? He lost the girl.
Who's he gonna turn to?
Yeah, who's he gonna turn to? You see it coming from a mile away, but it fits so well. Yeah, it's really good.
God, dude. And I feel like it's so relatable. That's what
Yeah.
makes it feel so slimy and
Yeah, exactly.
uncomfortable, where
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I've been there before, where I'm like, I'm just gonna go hang out with the people who are easily available. Like,
Yeah.
and like, what are we gonna do? Probably some fucking fucked up weird shit
Yeah.
that like people might,
But they
that
respect
nobody
me
should do.
and they're
Yeah.
nice to me and like yeah.
At least I think so. I
Yeah.
mean, they'll accept pretty much anyone, right? Like, is there real respect, real love there?
No.
Hard to say. I mean, they've been friends for fucking 8 years, though. That's wild,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I'm sure there is. It's just
Twisted.
it's twisted, yeah. Because
It's-
it's all tied up in this idea of bravado and like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, being the tough guy. So it's like it's
Yeah.
a very fragile friendship. If you not being tough for a minute means they might not be your friends anymore. Like those are bad friends.
That's one of the wild things about having friends, like for a really long time. Like, when I think about, like, friends that I've known for so long, it has to be, like, there has to be either you watch them, like, develop, or there has to be, like, when you reignite a friendship, there has to be this, like, moment where you sit across from them and you're like, oh, like, okay, you've realized some of the same things that I have. Like, that this is all fucking bullshit, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Otherwise, you're just like, I can't, like, the people I was friends with and like the way that we acted with each other, I mean, like, that's not something anybody wants to be participating in as a grown ass man. The world's already hard enough. Like, you know, I don't need to be constantly put down by the people who ostensibly love me, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I think everyone has probably gone through experiences where they want to look like they're cool or tough. And it ends up just like backfiring on them.
It's so like one of the things about like why you never want to be a teenager again. It's so cool to get to a point where like you're in a group of people who celebrate vulnerability.
Yeah.
And where it's cool to be your fucking self.
Yeah.
And where it's like, hey, you know what, dude? You know what? I played a show yesterday. Check it out later on. It's gonna be banned in Seattle. We're gonna be on YouTube. They did a little interview too. It's gonna be on King 5, which is a local news station.
Awesome.
But you know what, dude? I got this beret in Japan. And I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm going to wear it. And, like, you know, being able to, like, have a group of people who aren't going to immediately just, like, roast you for it. And, I mean, at the same time, we're all making jokes about it. Like, I was playing the saxophone, like, doing a sound check, and Jacob was like, with the hat, you look like the ghost of Coltrane. I was like, Coltrane, wow, that's, that. But, you know, it's just, like, it just feels so much better than that. And, like, I'm talking about all these things because I think we're really getting that sort of like that emotion or that feeling of
the
like
immersive coming of age story. Then I think that everyone can relate to an extent, even if it's not as exciting or
I'm really
wild.
glad that's what it ended up being. Like I didn't really want like a bunch of like bodies and like, you know, power brokering necessarily. Like it was nice to have something so heartfelt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this scene is extremely tense. I mean, this is kind of the climax of the movie.
For sure. I mean, the movie's gonna like end pretty quickly after this. They call him over and he's like, whose car is this? I'm like, don't worry about it. And then of course immediately you're driving the hot car fast, so it's a stolen car. They have the Molotov cocktails. You got Ralphie and they got guns. You have Ralphie smoking a cigarette with the Molotov cocktails at his feet. I
thought it was C who starts smoking a cigarette because they all start yelling at him and he's like, fuck off because he's so stressed out? Or is it not?
No, it's Ralphie.
Okay.
Because, I mean, Ralphie's the one sitting in, you got Aldo driving, you got sitting shotgun, you have Slick. In the back left you have Crazy Mario, the back right you have Ralphie, and then this is the perfect.
He's in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, he's literally trapped. Like
Yeah.
you have to push past someone too. Like I think that was a great job too, giving
Yeah.
that physical, and also the shots of him like in the middle of the back seat are so great.
Yeah, no, I definitely just like felt sweaty watching this
Yeah.
scene. Like it was a very relatable, scary situation.
And the internal monologue, and he's like thinking about all the things his father's ever said to him, thinking about all the things that
Yeah.
Sonny has ever said to him. And I love this realization of him always thinking so much about how his father and Sonny were at odds. And in
Yeah.
this moment, he realizes how they've both been telling him the same shit, you know?
Yeah, that's really good. And again, they're listening to fucking Jimi Hendrix
All on the Watchtower.
about to go do some extremely racist shit. It's just like so ironic.
Look, they'll appreciate the art of black folk as long as they stay in their neighborhood.
So shitty.
I just rolled my eyes really hard, by the way.
Yeah, and he's like his conflict of like they would say I got no heart if I got out of here, and that's come up a couple times too. I don't think.
They'd call me a mutt, you know? They'd call me a rat. And then at the stoplight, Sonny makes Calogero get out and takes him with him, you know?
Yes.
And they're in the back of the car in the next scene. And I love Calogero. Like, Sonny smacked him around. But again, there's still this level of this relationship where he's like, hey, what the fuck, dude? Like, you don't trust anybody? He's like, no, you know?
Yeah, and I also love that he fucking slams Slick's head on the dashboard because he won't move.
Yeah.
That was very cathartic.
He's with us. Come on, Shane. He's with us. Slam. And I love also from Calogero just like, yeah, don't you think like, what if like Jay and I had like fucking like gotten hurt with that? Like, did you even think about that? You know? And I love the line, you know, it's a horrible way to live. And he says, for me, it's the only way to live. And the best part is afterwards, the way fucking Calogero looks away and he's like, not for me.
Yeah.
And then he does the not for me like twice sort of thing.
That's kind of
like,
the apotheosis.
Yeah, just letting it all
moment.
sink in, you know, and he realizes like, yeah, awesome fucking moment.
Yeah, and then he gets out and
Jojo is like, hey, this beautiful black girl just came by you. You looking for you. You could go if you hurry, you could catch her. And he also has the moment where he's like turns to like Sonny's like, told you so. And Sonny wants to like stop him for a second to like say something to him, I think. And then like he's like, no, you see, he's like, no. Jane is my goal right now. I need to fucking see her.
Yeah. And she tells him that her brother told the truth. And like basically forgives him. They get
someone's watching from the window and he's like, mind your own fucking business, you know? Yeah. And they start kissing. It's very cute.
Well, they hold hands and they tell each other they missed each other, and then they get.
And he asked her too, which I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Like it feels very real, very like and also the respectful thing to do.
Yeah,
he requests consent.
That's right.
And she says, and she acquiesces, and then she says, "That's not a kiss. This is a kiss."
Yeah, definitely one of the cheesiest parts for me, but I'm like,
but it's still cute.
It's cute. Yeah.
It's cute.
I'm on board.
Do you know how to make sauce?
That was
what?
Really funny.
Like for a macaroni? Shut up. I love that. That's cute.
Yeah.
Then she mentions Willie again, and he's like, "Oh shit, we gotta go." And she's like, and he's like, "Give me your car keys." It was also really funny, very assumptive to be like,
"I'll drive your car."
Yeah, I'll drive your car.
Now that everything's cool.
But I mean, maybe like gender roles in like the 1960s and stuff. Maybe that's like the expectation. Like if you're like taking a woman somewhere, like then you should be the one driving. Who knows? And yeah, he lets her in, closes the door behind her, goes around the back, looks in, and I hate bad slow motion. There's some good slow motion in this movie because there's a scene when Sonny gets in a car and drives away at one point when him and like fucking Calogero make eye contact, and I'm like, oh, this is good. This is like drama, and the way this is done, it is like a little bit slower, and the way she like flicks it up,
the weight of the moment.
Yeah, and it's so corny but acceptable.
I like it. Yeah,
the way he jumps. You like that? The way he jumps. So he's like, yeah. It's so cute. And then he gets in. He's like, I knew you were one of the greats.
I think it gets away with being more campy here because it's such a big release from the tension of the previous scene. So it just feels like you can relax.
It's like a little bit of a palate cleanser.
Yeah. But like a very cathartic, like, hey, everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, but it is, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of the next scene, the drive-by shooting, absolutely insane.
Yeah, they pull up on the record store on Webster Avenue, start shooting, throwing the Molotov cocktails. It was so satisfying to see one of the dudes in the record store grab a Molotov cocktail and throw it back at them. There's this great balance of, like, these kids, like, are his friends and you understand why he wants to be with them. but I'm not like
I was
super
so
bummed.
relieved when they died.
Yeah,
And I feel
know.
bad about that.
But he even says, I didn't know whether to be happy that I was alive or sad that my friends were dead.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is this tinge of like, I'm not trapped between two worlds anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think sadly the world was done a favor by losing
Yeah.
these four
Poor guys.
these four little monsters.
Yeah, they fucking blow up, and Jane and C pull up. There's a big crowd. There's the fire department, and you hear the guy say, 4 white boys just got blown up, and they're like, heckling C, like kind of telling, get out of the neighborhood, That's where we have like the internal monologue of not sure how to feel. Just knew that he was grateful for Sonny for saving his life.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, I like that he apologizes to Jane's brother again. That's sweet. And yeah, he leaves. He starts running. And
he runs into Louis Dumps.
As soon as he was like this monologue of, like, I just had to tell him. I'm like, he's not gonna be able to tell him. Like, he's about to die, isn't he? Like, Sonny's about to die.
He runs into Louis Dumps. And he says, my grandmother's sick, right? And
That's such a good bit.
Forget the 20. Like, I just love that.
So funny.
Yeah, then he runs into the bar.
It's like a great little thing to slip in there because so much other things are going on. And it's just like a perfect, because rule of 3, right? This is the third time. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, he runs into the bar. He runs into Mush. He's
Mush
like,
is losing, yeah.
Like Sonny. He's like, I don't give a fuck where Sonny is. And yeah, when they see each other across the bar. And that's the moment where I truly locked in that, like, something is super wrong here. And I like the way they shoot this scene. Smiling faces everywhere except for one.
Yeah, and he's like, I like that he's commenting on, like, he doesn't know why the one not smiling face stood out so much, but it did. Like, there's this feeling of, like, he sees it all happening, like, before anyone else could, like, almost like this prescience,
Yeah, he sees it all at once, but like, looking back on it, like, it's like he sees it in like slow motion, right?
Like you hear about seeing a car crash in slow motion.
Reminded me of the fucking restaurant scene in The Godfather a little bit. Just like the like weight of like the pulling out the gun and like the
yeah.
And he fucking the guy just shoots Sonny in the head.
And I love that they're all just like waving him in, like, get in here,
come on, kid, we love you, kid.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And then we find out that was the son of the guy who Sonny killed 8 years ago in front of C's house. And it feels like a little bit of a parallel story to like Calogero, right? Like what could have been of him, right? Like,
Yep.
Then we're at the funeral. Flowers everywhere because gangsters got
Maria playing. I love that.
Yeah,
that piece.
Gangsters got a thing about flowers.
Yeah.
Whoever sends the biggest, what do they call the flower?
Bouquets?
Yeah, no, there's another word for it that he uses, but it doesn't matter. Whoever sends the biggest one, that's the one who cared the most. And he says, it's just like Sonny said. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah, pretty sad. Yeah, they're all just like, it's just another day for everyone else there. It's pretty deep that C's the one who like really loved him.
That shot of him alone at the funeral,
stays until closing. Yeah,
Jerry comes in. He's like, I gotta close down. Can I just get a couple more minutes? And he does. He gets up there and he tells Sonny, "Thank you," and she passed the test. Very touching.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci appears.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
I saw him when people were filing in from like the wide shot.
Oh, really?
You see him, and I was like, I recognize it. Is that Joe Pesci? Is Joe Pesci gonna be in this movie? Oh my God, Joe Pesci!
Yeah, that was a really nice, pleasant surprise.
Yeah, he's Carmine. He's taking over for Sonny. And he says, Sonny saved my life too. And then he's like, oh, you don't recognize me, do you? All those years ago in front of your house. And this is the guy who got hit by the baseball bat. And he has like the scar on his forehead.
Yep.
And he gets to ask him, and he tells him, like, if you need anything or like, you could like basically like offering like a job. And he's like, but he basically tells, or he says, if you need anything,
yeah,
he's like I'm going to stay away from the bar for now.
Yeah. And he's like, I understand that. Yeah. But because I think the context of the conversation is like, oh yeah, you just saw a killing there. Like, I don't blame you for staying away. But the subtext is like, no, I think I'm going a different way with my life.
Yeah,
now.
no, exactly. It doesn't even feel like subtext when fucking like when Calogero says it. It feels like very much like he's like saying like, that's not the way I want my life to go.
Yeah. And he asks him like, was it really about a parking space? And I love he's just like, no. And I'm like wanting him to say more, but I'm like, of course he wouldn't. Of course he wouldn't tell this random kid more.
And I think it was just this thing of like, it was like this like probably some sort of like disagreement between like, mobsters or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be more than that for sure.
Yeah. Then Lorenzo shows up, and I didn't get anywhere near tears at all throughout the movie. And then this part, dude, I just like
It is very touching.
I cried a little
That's
bit
beautiful.
because he says, "What are you doing here, Dad?" And he goes, "I wanted to pay respect for your friend.
Yeah,
Pay
that's
my
so
respect
pretty.
to your friend." And then I love how he walks over and he says, "Thank you for saving my kid's life."
Yeah.
Like, I love that acknowledgement. And then I never hated you. I guess I was mad at you for making him grow up so fast. Like that part too, like the like wanting to hold his son
Right.
and like, like scared of like him being exposed to the world
Yeah.
and like having the awareness to be like, I don't hate you and I appreciate what you did, but I just wish it didn't have to be like that,
Yeah. Well, even like that first confrontation where you're like, he tried to throw away his baseball cards, like my little boy. Like,
Yeah.
you're taking my little boy away.
Yeah, you're taking his childhood away,
Yeah.
And fucking I love fucking Calogero kissing fucking Sonny on the forehead and saying wasted talent.
Yeah.
Like him having the like ability. Again, two things can be true. I respect you, I love you, but you wasted your talent, and I wish you could have like lived up to your full potential. And then, dude, the thing that got me the most is when he puts his arm around his son and he says, "Let's go home, see." Him fully accepting his son for who he. Oh, I mean,
Yeah, I missed that.
My
I missed
fucking
that.
god, dude.
That's really good. Yeah, and there's also the he says like, I guess Sonny was wrong about that one, like talking about how some people did care, and it's him and his father.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's great, and I love that it's Lorenzo.
Yeah.
And then of course the thing comes up and it says dedicated to the late Robert De Niro Sr. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like just to like have that little like cherry on top, like, and to know that he wanted to play the dad, it feels, I feel like you feel the emotion, the complexity, the love, like, for his father, like the way he portrays the father,
Totally.
and not shying away from the gray areas of like fatherhood, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, he like smacks him like in earlier in that one scene.
Yeah, I was gonna mention they both smack him, both of his father figures in the movie, and it feels like very grounded and like natural and interesting, and like has a lot to say about the relationships and like who both the men are.
Yeah, because Lorenzo's immediately like, "I'm sorry," like he's like, "I'm sorry I hit you,"
Yeah.
And Sonny's like, never really says sorry, he just like saves his life.
Nah, yeah, he's never that vulnerable, but
he's a man of action. He's an acts of service kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's his love language.
Absolutely. And I like that it ends on I can't remember the exact wording, but it's like, most people don't really talk about it because it's just another Bronx Tale,
Yeah.
And I love that. And because with the context of what we were talking about how just relatable this is as a coming of age story, like this is just another story, but like we can all see ourselves in it,
I love that. I love the acknowledgement of like, I'm not special. Like we all have our own story. It's this beautiful, like kind of very artfully done ending where it's like, everybody has something to say. Like I put it down to paper. It's a movie, but like, that doesn't make my story any better, any worse, any more necessary to be told than yours. Like, there's this beautiful sort of like thing where I feel like it kind of inspiring to be like, hey, like everybody's got a story to tell,
Absolutely. And just like the subtext of that of just like all the stories untold that are around this, like,
where are you sitting on this?
Yeah, it's a strong A for me. Like
very strong A.
Yeah,
very
really,
strong.
Really
A.
good. I was asking myself like, what would make it an S? And I don't know, because it's pretty like.
I think what would make it an S for me is if Robert De Niro was a clownfish, and if Calogero was named Nemo and had a special fin.
Okay, I can see that.
No,
I'm
just joking. I'm just joking. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of emotional depth to it. But again, us talking about like ceilings for things, I think the like sort of fairy tale-ish aspect of it, or this sort of like the tone we want to take and the level of depth we want it to have, I think kind of like gives it maybe a little bit of this like, I think maybe if I found out more about Chaz Palminteri's life and had more of that context of Like maybe that might like raise it up a little bit more, but I think like there's nothing wrong with it being A. I think it executes on everything it tries to deliver. Like
It's powerful, memorable, really sharply written. Like
for sure.
So many lines of dialogue I was writing down.
Yeah.
You know?
The drawbacks are just some of the performances fall a little flat, and despite those like super strong moments of like emotion and vulnerability, that's not necessarily what the story's super focused on.
Yeah.
If there was more of that, the problem with that is then you take the gamble of like I'm going to get sick of it kind of, and it'll become like some of these other coming of age stories I tell you that are too depressing.
Yeah.
Like this one wanted to be uplifting. Like I think I wanted to kind of like have like a nice ending to it.
Yeah.
And I think in doing that, you sometimes limit like your ceiling for like an S tier.
So you're saying they played it a little safe.
But in a way that I respect, if that makes sense.
Because I think so much of what we were saying we love about it is just how natural and like real it feels.
I think they also maybe took a little risk because like playing it safe is maybe like in a way is maybe going too dark.
Yeah, like
right where you're like, oh, if I go really
Lorenzo
dark,
dies at the end.
It'll
or something.
be a huge fucking swing for the fences for like a fucking Oscar thing. But the way that it I think took a risk is like let's just be like honest.
Yeah.
And if like our honesty maxes out at like an A tier, like who cares, right?
Yeah.
Like we delivered on what we wanted to do, and it was done in a like genuine way. I think.
Yeah, I was thinking genuine too. Like this is probably one of the most genuine movies we've
Like, a
watched.
movie
Like this
like-
and like Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Yeah,
or something,
a movie
you know?
like this. I mean, you really have to like. It really has to be really special to like hit that S tier. Any movie has to be really special to hit an S tier.
I've talked
you know?
about it like a couple times where I can't. It's really hard for me to put my finger on what makes an S tier. It's like you know it when you see it kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it is the like it. There's so many different things that can do it, but it has to. I think that, I mean, like the way that Arrival like has like such a deep emotional intelligence to it,
Yeah.
and speaks to the human condition,
Yeah.
and brings together all these genre elements.
Yeah, I mean the lore is super cool.
And they're all different. They're all supporting this main idea.
and the pacing and the intrigue, like
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, highly recommend it if you haven't watched it and
really,
you're
really
you're
good.
listening to this episode. That's wild, but check it out. It's way more fun to watch it.
than to listen to us because we ain't got no talent.
No, they're both fun. No, I'm very talented. Just joking.
Carries the
You're
talent
very
for both of us.
you're a very talented individual as well. Yeah.
Next week
Next week.
we're watching. We kind of foreshadowed this already, but Goodfellas.
We are watching Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese.
That's right.
Miller's Crossing was 1990. This one is also 1990, the year of my birth.
Okay, and this was 1993, so all within like a 3-year period.
Yeah, and then we also did The Godfather, which was 72.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of gangsta movies coming around in the early 90s.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Should be fun. This one we've both seen.
Yep.
And yeah, it'll be exciting to talk. This is a different vibe too. I'm excited to like kind of like talk
I haven't
about.
seen it in a long time too. So.
I haven't seen it in a while. Should be fun though. But as we always say, like, comment, subscribe. Fucking engage. Feed that friggin' algo. Feed that algorithm a little something. Or as we say in Spanish, algo means something. So give the algorithm algo. And then I'll go and be your best friend.
I'll go and respond to your comments.
Yeah. Again, thanks to everyone who stops by and listens, sits down with us in our little community here that we're trying to
our little corner of the internet.
our little corner of the internet.
Our little neighborhood.
We got a nice little espresso stand though. Don't you worry. We got some nice cannolis too. Don't you worry. But yeah, call your mom, tell her you love her. Don't hang out with fucking jerk offs.
Yeah.
Unless that's your thing.
No,
and
if it's your thing.
And if you're doing it, wear blankets. And thank you for. Hopefully y'all enjoyed some of the anecdotes as well. I thought that there were some fun stories as well.
Yeah, we got into our childhoods.
Well, I think it's a little coming of age story. I mean, come on, we're compelling dudes. But yeah, that's it for tonight, dude. We'll see y'all next time.
We'll see you in the forecast.
Cast. What kind of name is Caligero?